What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Atomfall isn't what you think it is. This is Austin's hand-on preview off of SkillUp's channel. We're going to talk about how Warner Brothers fumbled the greatest gaming IPs despite being an industry giant. We're also going to talk about Jez Gordon has Microsoft's first full, or I should say, exclusive Xbox new hardware plans begin with gaming handheld set for later this year, with the full next-gen consoles targeting 2027. Guys, like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We just cover new stories, have conversations. So if you like it, hit that like button. Appreciate you very much. On this channel, we do live streams, we do uploads, we do shorts. We also do podcasts. We have a podcast that we do on Thursday nights at the end of the week. It was our end of the week, basically. 8 p.m. Eastern, called Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We have Q&A in there as well with Sarge McCluskey. You can also watch our other podcast that we do called Chatting With, which is we usually do it on Wednesday nights or when we have guests. We haven't done one this year so far. We're already in March. So if you guys know any guests or any YouTubers that you would like me to interview, go to our Discord. Join our Discord. It's absolutely free for everybody. You can join in our general chat. There's a feedback channel there. If you like something or don't like something that I do on this channel, you can always give me your feedback. Doesn't mean I have to listen to it, but you can give me your feedback in the Discord. Come along. We have a nice community here. It's a small community. It's a nice community. So hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. All right. What's going on, Roadkill? What's going on, Mo, Sarge, Eclipse? What am I missing? Akuta Papa, good morning, good morning. All right, so let's start off. What do you guys want? Want to talk about WB? Let's talk about WB first. Let's bring up this WB article here first. All right, so how Warner Brothers fumbles its greatest gaming IP despite being an industry giant. Now, before we even get to the article, we've talked about this extensively over the last couple of months and years because of, if it was Gotham Knights or if it was a Suicide Squad or if it was Hogwarts Legacy. We talk about WB a lot, right? Multiverses. And now, obviously, Wonder Woman has been canceled. Done. It's kaput. And WB is hurting. Not only are they hurting in the pocket in video games, but they're also hurting in the pocket of actual television shows, canceling shows like Batwoman. They're also hurting in the movie industry as well. So they're rolling the dice this year because the new Superman film's coming out, and we'll see what happens with that as it rolls out. So, guys, like what I do here, we do little breakout videos. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Let's jump into this. Okay. Oh, do we need okay. So how Warner Brothers fumbled its greatest gaming IPs despite being an industry giant. It says, it's not often that the gaming industry and developers of publishers have access to the untold wealth of popular intellectual properties. But Warner Brothers is in that unique position. Very few publishers can boast about the roster of characters that they have been and stalwarts in the entertainment industry with a built-in audience eager to consume. The gaming industry now exists within the cross-media environment, where the franchise's health is also dependent on the spreads of exposure across the various channels, and players are usually ready for engage of the new format, and the new fans are earned and often shuffled through unique brand marketing funnel and directing them to source material. Now, this should be a sense of like a play Warner Brothers games as a mastered, and also have years before this. Still, recent events have brought into question about their ability to deliver games and fans are asking for, and their ability to harness their powerful, stable, and also well-known and beloved IP fully. At the end of February 2025, Warner Brothers Games announced that it also would shut down 3 studios and cancel Wonder Woman, the game that has also long been in development. The news also didn't exactly come as a shock, as a publisher had reported a dire financial results, primarily driven by their ill-advised Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Here we go again, right? They're blaming all of their problems on this one game. Imagine a whole business. You have like 12 items that you're selling, but this one item didn't sell, and it completely ruined the entire company. Amazing. Okay. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League sets off a chain of events. Again, before Suicide Squad came out, they had Hogwarts Legacy 1 year prior that made over $1 billion, 1.2 billion, maybe $1 billion in profit. Okay, they lost $200 million supposedly with just Suicide Squad, and the entire company has crumbled. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Okay, so it says, by all accounts, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League appears to have been the cannon salvo that sunk. Okay, or in case morality wounded the ship. Warner Brothers Games has actually entered into 2024 in an advantage position. Fiscal figures weren't publicly disclosed, but their open-world Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, sold over 30 million units worldwide, making it the best-selling game of 2023. Mortal Kombat 1, a soft reboot of the series, also posted a respectable 5 million units sold, and Warner Brothers Games' next tentpole-based lucrative DC property was due to come out later in February 2024. No one would also have predicted that the disaster that was about to unfold. Most post-mortem have been conducted to find out why Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League failed so spectacularly. But the common theme was the audience didn't want it. People said this ahead of time. Now, I've been on record saying that I like the actual story, like the campaign of Suicide Squad, but the game itself fumbled the ball, again, because it's a live service game and the end game type of stuff. Nobody who thought it was a good idea to fight the same boss 13 times. Like, if this was like, I don't know, 2000, and you were like, hey, it's never been done before, why don't we fight the same guy 13 times? People would have been like, man, that sounds awesome. Brainiac 13 times, but we're not in 2000. We're in 2024, now 2025, and you told people after playing games like Elden Ring or Cyberpunk or The Witcher, where these, like, each and every single boss that you fight is completely different than everything else that you fought in the game. And for some strange reason, they're like, you know what? We should make a live service game, and we should make the same boss 13 times. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Let's take 13 bosses and just convert them just a little bit. We'll take the Flash. Instead of fighting the Flash, we'll fight Brainiac Flash. Instead of fighting Superman, we'll fight Superman Brainiac, right? Dun, dun, dun. So stupid in so many ways. When it was announced, many players were overjoyed to hear the developer Rocksteady would create another DC adventure. They had previously worked on wonders with Batman Arkham Trilogy, delivering a tight, polished, single-player action game that was intertwined itself with the source material. That's the biggest thing. Tightly intertwined itself with its source material. Listen to this. Listen to this, right? Before I even continue reading this article, okay? They're making the same mistake right now, live, in front of you, for the television series of the Harry Potter that's going to be on HBO, okay? Why was Batman Arkham Trilogy beloved? Because it was intertwined itself with the source material. Yet, for some strange reason, Warner Brothers can't see it. They're clouded by this cloud, okay? By this fog. They're looking at it going, why did Suicide Squad fail? I don't understand. We had the Suicide Squad, but you didn't follow the source material, okay? You gave them all guns, right? You shit on people that were like, yeah, we don't care what you think. Let's push the agenda. Let's push identity politics. Let's push misogynistic stuff, right? Now, with Harry Potter, the series, they're doing the exact same thing. They're not intertwining it with the source material. They said themselves that it's going to be accurate to the books, and yet they cast somebody for Snape that's not book accurate. It's not accurate. But I digress. Let's move on back to here. However, as time passed, more details regarding Kill the Justice League were revealed. The journal malice set in. Okay, the move to a live service platform doomed the game. That wasn't the only thing that doomed the game. If you came out with a live service game that you didn't fight the same boss 13 times, and you didn't give us Karen Freeze, and you gave us cool characters that people actually cared about, I don't think it would have been so bad as a live service game if you actually made a live service game. But what you gave us is a minimum viable product that wasn't thought out properly, and you gave us a looter shooter in a superhero game where people had superpowers, but we didn't get to use their superpowers. We used guns for 90% of the time, okay? We went up against the Flash, Superman, Batman, and Green Lantern one time, the actual characters, killed them, it's in the title, okay? And then we fought the same boss 13 times, okay? If you think the live service aspect is what was the cause of this problem, that was one leg of the live service table that you try to give us. Okay. So despite having at least one solid single-player game under their belt, Warner Brothers Games that had decided to pitch Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as a live service game, this model was originally pitched in 2016, and as the time went on, executives became enthusiastic about the idea. Countless presentations and told of virtues of continuous monetization and a player engagement model, extracting the most profit over the extended period. This is how they pitched it. They're like, it's something for you. Let me pitch you this. Suicide Squad. They're like, okay. We already had some movies. They're like, no. Suicide Squad. Live service. And they're like, oh, okay. Live service. Okay, well, let's hear more. All right, here's my vision. We're going to take an open world game, and we're going to bring in all of these different elements, and we're going to bring in the Joker, and we're going to bring in Mr. Freeze, and we're going to bring in all these bad guys, and we're going to have all these things. You're going to use the Suicide Squad. They're going to curse. They're going to shoot. They're going to feel so badass. Everyone's like, oh, yeah? We're going to make billions because we're going to charge $30 a skin for shitty skins and tell our audience that they're misogynistic pigs and they're assholes and racists. And we're like, well, that sounds amazing. When can we get started? We can get started right now. Hey, what are we going to do for the bosses? We'll get to the end game. Don't worry about it. The end game is microtransactions. Oh, okay. Well, that's what we're doing? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, let's do it. Hey, the market says live service is not where to go. That's not what Twitter says. Twitter says they love live service games. 13 Brainiacs. Here we are. We're delayed by how many years? 2 years we're delayed. Oh, 4 years? We're delayed 4 years. We were supposed to come out in 2020, and instead we came out in 2024. And we have 13 of the same bosses? Yep. This is why it failed. Live service. No, not because you put minimal viable product. You put no effort into it. You like worked on the game to a certain point, and then we're like, let's just call it in. Okay. It wasn't without merit. Games such as Destiny, Dead by Daylight, Overwatch, and countless more were able to employ the exact model. The difference between Destiny, Dead by Daylight, and Overwatch is brand new IP. These are characters and things that didn't exist in the market before. You took DC characters and put them into a game that are beloved. Even though if they're like C-list tier guys in the Suicide Squad, DC's been around longer than probably some of these people that are working in video games, okay, or owners of the companies. But yet, they think, well, it worked for Destiny. It worked for Dead by Daylight. It worked by Overwatch. And countless more were able to employ the exact model. However, Warner Brothers' approach did not work because they were unable to asset the strength and merit of their IP property or properly, okay, which is amazing. You have some of the biggest IP characters on the planet, and you decided that you didn't know what you were doing, which speaks volumes of not the devs, but the people that run these companies, the higher-ups that don't know diddly squat about diddly squat. Instead of forming a game that complemented the often wacky adventures of a Suicide Squad finds themselves in, a bland sandbox was created, populated by recognizable characters. That's right, minimal viable product. It's certainly not enough to smash two popular ideas together and call it a day. It was for them, and 13 Brainiacs. I'm never going to let that down. 13 Brainiacs, okay? That's the essence of Warner Brothers, okay? Did Suicide Squad game was the right call? The brand was its pinnacle. The movie, the comic books doing incredibly well, and the anime was announced. Similarly, the property had crossed borders of the international culturalized zeitgeist. Oh, did it? And they imploded it. They took the Kathleen Kennedy route, okay, of a brand new IP, or not a brand new IP, a well-known IP, and flushed it down the toilet faster than anybody else has ever done before. For years, Harley Quinn was the go-to Halloween costume. Even minor characters received their own streaming spin-offs, but this was also conducted by Warner Brothers Discovery with some sort of recognition of what audiences wanted. A different story ensued when the baton was also passed to Warner Brothers Games. Rocksteady was never equipped to develop a live service game. And while it was an unadmirable task, was brand of butter was polished single player adventures. Okay. And again, the single player aspect of the game was it was good. The writing was good, the story was good. I was okay with the Justice League dying. It's a video game, right? It's a video game. It was fun. But that's where it ended. That's where it ended. Okay. It says the developer lacked the experience in the area, didn't stop Warner Brothers Games from pumping out a large amount of money into the project and growing the studio to 250 people. Rocksteady was unprepared for the complexities of a live service game. Developers and engineers were left scrambling as the project continued to morph into a game that Warner Brothers thought players wanted. You know, when you do this, you feel the wind, right? When you lick your finger and feel the wind, or pick up the grass and throw it in the air and you see the wind going this direction, you know which way the wind's going, right? That's not what they did. They didn't lick their finger or put up grass to see which way the wind was blowing. They said, yeah, the trend is this. They said, let's do that. Let's do what Destiny's doing. Let's do what Day by Daylight's doing. Let's do what Overwatch is doing. But yet, they did none of that. They did none of that. They did the most minimal viable product as any game I've ever seen before. Okay? Maybe not as little as the day before or Concord. But it's up there. Okay? It's up there. It says the allure of Suicide Squad was much more than completing objectives. Okay? The Suicide Squad IP was mismanaged, not only due to Warner Brothers, okay, handling it to the studio with also no online games experience, but also because the live service genre does not lead itself to proper best qualities. The Suicide Squad is their best incarnation, are a ragtag group of villains who work together to use their distinct powers to save the day. Kill the Justice League did very little to bring the cross. Instead, most characters played very similar, with the mind-boggling emphasis on gunplay rather than powers. Yeah. Because I'm sure all of these people that work for the company, did anyone speak up? Did anyone go, hey, why are we putting Captain Boomerang in here when he doesn't get to use his boomerang? Well, we'll put it in as a special ability, but 90% of the time we'll just use it, right? And I know there's people in this channel that argued with me saying, well, why did they give the powers? And I get it. The live service aspect of this game sucked balls. You can go back to my past content and look at me saying, if they do this, it's going to be bad. Again, I stand by what I say. Rocksteady did a good job with the single-player aspect of it, the campaign of the game. But that was it. After that, they tacked on all the live service stuff and fundamentally changed the game because of the gun mechanics, okay? It's like, hey, let's take DC Universe characters and let's make a kart racing game, right? That's how, like, ridiculous this is. It's as ridiculous as Star Wars, as I said in my other video last week, as opening up a hotel and not putting Star Wars in it, okay? It's ridiculous of making a superhero game and not be able to use the superhero powers in a superhero game. I know, it's crazy. Okay, the Suicide Squad presented the game, the save of the Justice League was not the case of characters fans had to come to love. There's also stakes in the most Suicide Squad adventures, many plot points resolved around betrayals, head detonations, and out-of-the-left-field surprises. All the familiar Metropolis was also a world that waited for the players to interact with in a stagnant, and any personality, right? They'd put no love inside. There's no. You think Avowed, when people were talking about Avowed, said people don't move in the city? There's nobody in the city. It's just bad guys. Same bad guys. Not even new bad guys. Okay. The new bad guys were, same bad guys, but now Flash. Same bad guys, but now Green Lantern powers. Once the story had been completed, it was all too telling that Brainiac tentacles still crisscrossed the city, and objectives of the following 4 seasons was kill more Brainiac. Yes. Every IP, despite our connections with them, is the product being sold to the consumer, but Kill the Justice League made it obvious at a game that was so stripped of nonsense. It wasn't even able to appeal to the lowest common denominator. Multiverses disappointed despite its strong roster. This game here, in my opinion, is a bigger failure than Suicide Squad. Because Suicide Squad, they took a brand and made it a live service game. This here, as a live service game, as a continuous live roster, changing and manipulating the entire time, was like, how do you fuck this up? You can't fuck this up, right? It's impossible to fuck. Oh, no, it is. It is possible to fuck this up. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League wasn't the publisher, but only failure in 2024. The Warner Brothers game, Super Smash Bros. Competitor, Multiverses, also failed to make an impression. Once again, Warner Brothers leveraged the impressive roster of well-known characters to create a game that should have found an audience. It did. It did find an audience. In 2022, when it came out, and we got to play it from 2022 to 2023, May or July, or whatever it was, and then they closed it down for 1 year to make the game worse. Are these the same people? I would love to know if the same people that told them to change what they did for Multiverses was the same people that told Suicide Squad to be a live service game. Okay, I wonder. Okay, there also became Arrow Stark battle out against Jake the Adventure Time or Bugs Bunny. The game lasted only 5 seasons. Despite regular introducing new characters to the roster, it should be noted that competing in the Smash-like arena fighter genre notoriously difficult. Many others have tried to include Sony with its also PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale, Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl, and Lego Brawlers. Some of these games are still actually playable, and they still update them. Okay, since it opened in beta of 2022, the game was also mixed reception, but was at one point the most played game on Steam. In March of 2023, it was taken offline to address the players' concerns. Significant updates were implemented, and another large change of the made in 2024 when the game transitioned to Unreal Engine 5. However, this didn't move the needle on players' perception of the game. No, because consumers don't really care what engine you're using. Like you coming out and saying, oh, we've upgraded to Unreal Engine 5. That's like me updating from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I don't care as long as my computer works. Okay? If it makes it worse, then I don't like it. Okay? Many have voiced their discontent, saying that developers had never listened to the community, leading to the demise. Whatever the reason is, the failure might be as another setback for Warner Brothers games. The effective amplified as Warner Brothers acquired multiverse developer Player First Games in July of 2024, closing it down 7 months later. This is the most mind-blowing thing. This is why I think Suicide Squad is not as bad as Multiverses. Multiverses had a company, Player First Games, make this game, reach out to them and say, hey, we would love to make a game based on the IPs. And Warner Brothers was like, yeah, let's do it. Then Warner Brothers was like, let's buy these guys. And now Player First Games is in the best position possible. Best position possible. They didn't have to call up a third-party company and be like, hey, we're making Multiverses, and we want to know if we can use Jon Snow in the game, right? Can we get permission for Jon Snow? Can we get permission for Harry Potter? All they had to do was go, hey, we'd like to put Harry Potter in the game. And Warner Brothers goes, okay, great idea. Great idea. We have a new movie coming out. Maybe we should put some characters in there, right? And use it as a promotional material. Nope. For some strange reason, Player First Games had less resources and they didn't know what they were doing. Amazing. Amazing. If this doesn't tell you that Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing, I don't know what does. Okay? The common thread for Warner Brothers' failure is the properly serve its already invested audience. Their simple equation of combining high-value IPs with live service platform in search of profit is misguiding. Perhaps had they taken note from Fortnite, which is now the pop culture playground, but beneath all of this license is a solid, engaging game. Imagine that. Everyone gives shit to Fortnite, but here's Fortnite 8 years later. They have every single IP known to man. And why is it? Why is it? You can put as many IPs as you want in a game, but if your game's not engaging or fun, no one's going to play it. But you know what they are playing? They're playing Fortnite. Multiverses should have been a game that should sell itself easily. You put as many characters in as possible, and I'm telling you right now, it's the same thing goes with Marvel's Rivals. Okay? Put as many characters in the game as possible because that's what's going to sell the game. It's a fun game. Now put as many characters in as possible. Do not hold back characters because someone doesn't want to communicate with you. Put as many characters, villains, heroes, whatever, anti-heroes as possible. That's how games like this survive. But, or you can do what Multiverse just did. Okay, it says Warner Bros. Allocated inordinate amounts of resources to create flawed and uninteresting experiences. Many players have become interesting and fatigued by the live service games industry and seeing more and more high-profile failures. Most recently, Sony's Concord would be an Overwatch competitor, shut down just 14 days after launch. Square Enix also tried its hands twice with Marvel's Avengers and Babylon's Fall in the middling disastrous results. Now, the parent company of Warner Bros. Discovery begins to take notice. What, were they asleep at the goddamn wheel? How did they not notice? The company certainly felt effects of this. Warner Brothers Games experienced a 29% drop year over year in revenue over quarter four of 2024. Warner Brothers revealed that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League incurred a $200 million loss. Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav called the game's sales disappointing, and Multiverses played its part too, contributing to another $100 million loss. In response, Zaslav also recognized that Warner Bros. Games is substantially underperforming its potential right now. Post-launch, Warner was unable to draw any further players, and Multiverse launched a limited edition of $30 Halloween skin, and Kill the Justice League was made available on Amazon Prime members a few months after launch. There was just no appetite. In September 2024, Rocksteady underwent layoffs and was reduction in the QA department and cuts of junior staff. And the team members had later reported suggested that programmers and artists were also affected. With many of those let go, having served the company for over 5 years, one former employee recounted how we had received notice of dismantle while it was parental leave. Okay. Warner Brothers made no acknowledgement of the layoffs took place, and however, Eurogamer independently confirmed this. February then saw decisive cuts of Warner Brothers Games portfolio. Multiverse's dev Player First Games was shut down, with game director Tony Heath described as a painful for everyone. Well, of course it is, right? You lose your job, especially out of nowhere, when you think you're doing what they were told to do. Okay, long-running studio is caught in a crossfire. All right, a surprise closure was the Reverse Studio Monolith. Along with Rocksteady Studio was also sort of Golden Goose, Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor, sequel Shadows of War, were also well-received games that sold well. And the studio had also previously put on the groundbreaking first shooter Fear, and also the cult classic Codename series. Now, Monolith was acquired by Warner Bros. In 2004, making it one of the longest-running studios in the portfolio in 2021. And the studio announced it would work on a Wonder Woman title that they were told to do. Okay? It was stayed quiet in the following years. In February 2025, it stated of Kotaku, Warner Bros. Confirmed that the development of Monolith Wonder Woman game will not move forward. Early in February, rumors that the game was in crisis made rounds that Wonder Woman game was also in crisis. Those rumors were true. Reports suggested that the game had faced several challenges, despite considerable investment of Warner Bros. Did not see the path forward to profitability. No, because once you pass a certain point and put so many resources in the game and then you reboot it, you have an Anthem on your hands. You have a Skull and Bone on your hands. You're never going to make your money back. It's more like a tax write-off. The only reason Skull and Bones came out is because they literally owed and they had an obligation to a country that gave them a loan to do it. Okay? A sad casualty of closure of Monolith was the tech-produced Monolith engine. Was also various iterations have been staple of studios since the inception. One of their more groundbreaking inventions was the Nemesis system. Implemented in Shadows of Mordor, and the Shadows of War. The dynamic mechanic allows enemies to remember the last encounters of the act accordingly. Okay? Warner Brothers could be making, instead of making money off of this, like they try to do, because they thought they're like, oh yeah, we'll make this, and everyone is going to pay for it. Everyone's going to want this system. Everyone's like, we'll wait. Warner Brothers like, oh, I guess maybe we should open it. Nah, let's keep it for 15 years. While the details of the 2004 acquisition are unknown, it's believed that Warner Brothers holds the license and patents for Monolith's engine and systems. This means the Nemesis system might not see implications until after 2036. In a memo, the heads of the game streaming of Warner Brothers, J.P. Perriott, wrote, quote, "We need to make substantial changes to our portfolio. Team structures is where we are committed to necessary resources to get back to the fewer but bigger franchise strategy. Those bigger franchises will now be Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and DC Comics. Rocksteady is reportedly developing a new Batman game." I love how they went all the way to the left for live service games because that's what everyone wanted. And then now, because just Suicide Squad, they're like, nope. And they switch back. They could have put Harry Potter in multiverses. They could have put Game of Thrones in multiverses. They could have put Mortal Kombat in multiverses. They could have put all the other DC comics in multiverses. Multiverses, in my opinion, is the linchpin of what they could have done and kept that afloat. But Warner Bros. Doesn't even know what they had or what they've lost because they don't understand, right? They had a perfect game that could have sat there for years and years, making money, getting people hyped. New movie comes out, put those characters in the game. New show comes out, put those players in the game. New comic book comes out, put the players in the game. They could have just kept it going over and over and over. But nope, greedy monetization is what killed that game. Because the idiots running the WB, you're idiots, okay? Don't know what they're doing. And now they're like, you know what they're asking for? We're asking for a Batman game. Well, let me tell you something. If you make this Batman game not only has to be the latest, greatest Batman game, it's got to be the best Batman game. It's got to be Batman before, right? Basically, when the Arkham series came out, everyone was blown away by it. That's what you have to make. And if you make anything less, comparing just to the other Batman games, you've lost. But we'll see what happens with that, okay? It says, however, nothing has been announced. And Peretti also assures employees, it says, ensures the employees that we'll get right back to the profitability of 2025. Now, however, the publisher has only one AAA game set to release in 2025, and that's Game of Thrones King's Road. Okay, King's Road is that gotcha game, is it not, chat? Hogwarts Legacy 2 has been announced, be in development, but it would also be years away. The closure of Warner Brothers San Diego support studio, assisted in the live service game development, has driven home the settlement that Warner Brothers will not be experimenting with the games as service title in the near future. If they turn Hogwarts Legacy 2 into a live service game, they completely miss the ship. Okay? Warner Brothers 2024 shows the effect of one bad year can have. So, what was Warner Brothers games live service games cost them? Hundreds of millions of dollars, reputation damage, and also loss of one of the industry's most innovative studios. A month before news broke, a closure that cancellations, David Haddad departed from the position of CEO, a role he filled for 12 years. Last year, he reported that Warner Brothers might be looking to sell its gaming division, but it appears that it'll be doubling down in some areas, much like NetEase. Warner Brothers is sitting on a treasure trove of IPs, and yet they are unable to fill leverage of any properties into something great. Competitors like Marvel and Disney have also proved how lucrative licenses and in-demand IPs is. Warner insists on developing a majority of the projects in-house and was also put an immense financial strain on the company and limited to the number of titles that they also could be released. In other industries, has also become increasingly more volatile, perhaps the wake-up call for them. When the company assumes the complete financial burden, it must be also benefits such as with Hogwarts Legacy, or it might it might wound them. And the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, substantially game development may need more financial exposure for more parties, and it may also need to get a few more stakeholders outside of Warner Brothers games to say, hey, maybe it's a course of action isn't such a good idea. All right, so Hogwarts Legacy, this is why all of a sudden, okay, because remember, in the very beginning of Hogwarts Legacy, we thought it was a live service game because we saw those timers and whatnot. And when we did that, sorry, I never put the article back up on the screen, but it's all right. When Warner Brothers, when they fumbled the ball, now with Hogwarts Legacy, they're starting to put more effort into Hogwarts Legacy, right? They came out with Quidditch. Quidditch failed. They have a Quidditch thing in Hogwarts. I wouldn't be surprised if they put something along the lines of Quidditch, either in Hogwarts Legacy 2 or they add something into Hogwarts Legacy 1. There's talks about that they weren't going to do a new game plus. It's one of my most watched videos about a new game plus if they implement one. Okay, and they've been on the record saying that they're thinking about putting a new game plus in the game. Why would they be beginning to put a new game plus in the game? Well, they have nothing on the because everything else failed. Right? Suicide Squad failed, Multiverse failed, Wonder Woman's not coming out. Hogwarts Legacy has 30 million people that are playing the game or own the game. And now they have to think about, well, how can we get more interaction? How do we keep this thing afloat while they're waiting for the next thing? So they're putting DLC. They might be putting a new game plus. They added mod support inside the game. My thing is, if they move forward with Hogwarts Legacy 2, do not put a live service game in. Would I put a co-op mode in there? Yes. Would I put some sort of maybe, which I said they should have done inside of Hogwarts Legacy, okay? You could make it a live service game, but you got to separate the two, like Grand Theft Auto has done. Okay, I've said this in the past. I think Starfield and Hogwarts would have made buku bucks off of this, okay? More Hogwarts Legacy than Starfield. But if you had Hogwarts Legacy, a single-player game, like a Grand Theft Auto single-player game, and it was what it was, and then you make a online multiplayer type of game mode where people can go to the Hogwarts castle, okay, and they can hang out with their friends, they can decorate their rooms, they can go on adventures together. That would be a much more invested money into that, where they can sell cosmetics and stuff like that, especially since the show's coming out, okay? That would revigor the excitement of the game as well, right? That's supposed to come out in like 2026, 2027, right? So this would be a smart move. But other than that, Warner Brothers is just idiotic when it comes to their IPs. They're completely destroyed pretty much everything they have. But Let me know what you guys think. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. That's a long one, chat. Holy Christ. All right. The clip says, man, Gotham Knights would have been perfect for the Nemesis system. Such a mess. Yep. Sarge says, so much fucking cope, admit the default, and then learn from that. Move the fuck on. Water Bear says, Suicide Squad names fits the bill. Warner Brothers. Sarge says, remember where we're in the room together and discussed it? They agreed that fighting and the same boss 13 times was a good idea. Yeah. Yep. Altern says 13 Brainiacs killed the game. What's going on, gamer? Ferris was right about the microtransactions. He sure was. Sarge says, Twitter said it. I love Twitter. I believe you now. Ron Slusher says, in Suicide Squad was called Anthem, then it would have succeeded. Let's see. Bo says, Xbox invades enemy territory. Hashtag. Water Bear says, I would also just burnt my $100 if I spent on that game. It would have been more entertaining. Right? Just light it up. Just light it up. What's going on, Drummond? Good morning, 30. Hope you're having a good day. Will you revisit the Suicide Squad game again? No, I deleted it once Karen Freeze came in. I didn't even like do anything. I stopped after season 1. I played the Joker, and maybe down the road, once it goes belly up, and I can play it offline, maybe we'll go and play the characters. But I have no info. It's the same game over and over and over. So because I played it with the 4 characters and then I played it with the Joker, I don't need to play with 3 new characters and do the exact same thing. Sarge says, DC is 80 plus years old. You have mounds of info and draw from. If you cared about it at all, the IP, you would just have read the fucking comic, book, novel, or any other piece of information on the planet. Roadkill says DC should be gold mine, and there's so many badass people in the DC. Yeah, and for some reason, they're like, all we can make is a Batman game. It's so dumb. Eclipse says, yeah, I don't regret playing Suicide Squad. I just regret buying it at full price. I would also got the same edition for $5 if that... I didn't even pay for it. My brother-in-law bought it for me early for Christmas and said, I bought you this edition. And I went, I was like, never, ever. And I told him this before the game came out, before he even knew it was bad in any way, shape, or form. I was like, please, do not ever buy a pre-order game for me. I was like, just give me money. Just give me money. Give me a gift card. Give me something. Don't buy me a game. Okay. Brainchild says, I still say the Nemesis system is a situation similar to Red War from Destiny. Someone else owns or creates the system, and WB can't compromise to use it. The problem is that they want to sell it to somebody, right? They want to sell it to somebody, and nobody wants to buy it. They're just like, we'll just wait. We'll just wait. It's not. We talked about this, 2 weeks ago? How many games would be so beneficial to that system, Brain? It's so stupid that WB did what they did. 15 years they held it behind a wall. Eclipse says the 49ers just let go of the... Oh, you were talking about football. It doesn't top Arkham Knights or doesn't even come close to it. They're done. Agreed. Agreed, Water. If they come out with the next Batman game, I don't care if it's Batman Beyond or whatever it is, it has to be on par with the last Batman game series. Otherwise, done. Water Bear says, to be honest, I truly believe that EA is going to make a good Iron Man single-player game. Their single-player games have been really good. Hopefully at GDC, we're going to maybe see some sort of tech test behind the scenes. We'll see. What's going on, Haley? Good morning. El Nini, what's going on? Batman game will sell well regardless. It'll sell well, but it doesn't matter if it sells well if it doesn't do good as the first Batman game. It'll sell well, then people will see the flaws and be like, yeah, this is not the Batman game we've been asked for. Right? It'll be the same thing. What's going on, Stealth? They're going to fumble it because look what they did with the show coming to HBO. Yeah, sad. Single-player action-adventure game should ship with New Game Plus. It adds any game without even having to add more to the game. The problem with Hogwarts Legacy, and again, it's my most watched video on my channel. It's got over 25,000 views, okay? The problem with the New Game Plus and Hogwarts Legacy is that a regular game, you do a New Game Plus and earn all the stuff over again. Because the way the system and when you learn the actual magical powers, your abilities, is in the school, and you do New Game Plus, it doesn't make sense, right? It's weird how, because you would have to learn everything again, meaning you're resetting yourself to learn the same things over again. It's like, it doesn't add to me. That doesn't add more. I'd rather just stop playing the game, make a new character, and then do it again. New Game Plus should add more to the game, not make me reset the game. And because of the schooling and the way that it teaches you, it doesn't fit, in my opinion. But we'll see. What's going on, Aaron? Here's what Howard the Duck game. Where's that Howard the Duck game? Howard the Duck, I guarantee you, will be in Marvel Rivals. How funny would that be, Ron? How fun would that be? Altern says Suicide Squad and Multiverses are games that should also be printing money. The issue is that they don't want to put the effort in to create the content. They just want people to pay just because. Yep, look at this new skin for $30. Look at this brand new skin. The Multiverses, it's just ridiculous. They lock the characters behind a season pass in the beginning. Then they make you and force you to go to the microtransaction store. Instead of having a cool outfit, they're like, you need to get this t-shirt if you want to get this thing. It's like, why do I have to spend $10 on a fake t-shirt that I'm never going to wear again? Make cool outfits. Make things that I want to purchase. Make a game fun. Let me buy the stuff. Marvel Rivals is doing it what you should do, right? Make a really fun game, make cool characters in the beginning, and then make badass cosmetics that people want to buy. And then add more characters for free. Oh my God, you added Blade? I'm going to come back for Blade. Oh my God, you add Gambit? I'm going to come back for Gambit. Right? Multiverse is like, how do we make this successful? Wait, they want us to add more Game of Thrones characters? We can't do that. We're going to have to ask permission from the boss. Oh, what? They want more people from DC Comics? We can't do that. We have to, oh wait. We are WB. We could put anybody we want. What? Harry Potter in the game? No, that's silly. I don't want to put Harry Potter in the game. Imagine owning the IPs and not being able to do stuff with it. Amazing. One lawyer has to call the other lawyer to say, hey, can we use this? And they go, sure. Considering it's the same company and we need to make money off of this, why not? And it's so stupid because in the article, they even say they're doubling down on the Harry Potter Game of Thrones. Yet they didn't add any more Game of Thrones or Harry Potter in Multiverses. Brilliant. Eclipse says, I can't wait for Hitmonkey. If that's true, it's going to be awesome. I think it is true. Not only does they have voice lines, even though he doesn't speak, but he makes noises or whatnot, but they also, you know, they have data of his abilities and stuff in the game. I mean, Jeff the Landshark's in the game, so why not Hitmonkey? You know? It's just crazy. It's just crazy that WB fumbled the ball this hard. But we shall see. I'm going to pause here, and this is where YouTube is going to add 15 commercials because I'm drinking water. Silent. I have to drink and talk at the same time so I don't get it. So, guys, what you... Okay. Yeah, they're gonna add like 15 commercials in there. All right, let's go on to the next topic. Do I want to talk about Xbox right now, or should we take a break? I think we should take a break. Let's watch the Atomfall. Right, anytime there's silence, ad. That's what it is. Have you guys seen the ads? Hold on. Have ever, those of you that missed it, this is what ads look like. What ads look like on YouTube. Let me open it up real fast. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I deleted the picture. It's so ridiculous. Oh, you know what? I know where it is. I know where it is. I sent it to Todd the Gator a couple months ago when we were on his. Yeah. So this is what it looks like when once I'm done with the live show or once I'm done with gameplay. Every notch that you see is an ad. Okay, I want you to look at that. Okay, every notch that you see is an ad. This is what YouTube loves to do. This is what YouTube loves to do. So just imagine, right? Just imagine this is a 2-hour show or 3-hour show, and there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, right? 56, 58, 61, right? 68 commercial breaks. And that could be, for every commercial break, that's 1 to 3 ads. 1 to 3 ads, 61 breaks. That's what YouTube does before I go back and add the 6 for 3 hours. Okay? 6 for 3 hours. That's what I do. And I do it 6, 12, 30, and then every half hour after that. Because most people don't watch past the first 30 minutes anyway. Argus says, game companies just don't utilize the IP they own anywhere near as much as they could. This can also be annoying how much waste potential there is. It's mind-boggling to me, Argus, and good morning, Argus. It's mind-boggling to me how they have and own these IPs and they don't use or do anything with it. El Nini says, Xbox Handheld. You want me to go that next? Argus says, no, I've had YouTube Premium for more years than I can remember. I haven't been a YouTube ad in ages. I've had it for 3 or 4 years now. To me, it's best money I've spent, but they keep raising the price. No wonder YouTube Premium costs $17 now. Right. Make the problem. Right? Make the problem. Sell the solution. The problem is you have to watch 61 commercials in this long format. Or pay $17 and don't see an ad at all. Right? I'm gonna do the video and then we'll go to Xbox because Xbox is gonna be a lot more conversation or whatnot. So the next thing we're gonna watch is we're watching SkillUp's review or hands-on preview. Okay, hands-on impressions, I should say. But it's Austin, hands-on impression, not SkillUp himself, of Atomfall. Right? Atomfall seems like it's an interesting game. I want to see what he says about it, get his opinion on it, and then maybe my thoughts and opinions on it. If you guys like what I do here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay.
Creation toolset, making it easier than ever before to build the perfect website for your business, your project, or just for fun. They're offering a special discount to viewers of this channel, so stick around to the end of the video to learn more.
Atomfall is probably not what you think it is. If you've watched the trailers, like me, you might have been under the impression that this is basically British Fallout. And yeah, I mean, it certainly presents that way. It's a first-person game set in a post-apocalyptic world filled...
I hear you can kill everybody in the game. You can literally kill everybody in the game, and I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're just going to murder everybody on the planet.
With survivor factions, bandits, retro future robots, mutants, and ghouls, but with an English flair sprinkled on top. Sure, the Fallout London mod exists if you want that, but personally, as someone who's never really clicked with Bethesda's games, I was quite keen to see a different studio run.
This looks really good. Like, visually, it looks really good.
With Bethesda's RPG blueprint and offer up their own take.
Fish confirmed. Fish confirmed. Sorry.
Studio run with Bethesda's RPG
right
blueprint.
Here. Look, fish in the water. There you go. I've already saved you guys a whole video of people saying there's no fish in the water in the game.
And offer up their own take. But after 1.5 hours of hands-on time with Atomfall, I quickly realized that it's really not like that at all. And that's probably going to come as a surprise to you too if all you've seen are brief snippets of gameplay from trailers. Here's how the developers themselves describe Atomfall in a recent deep dive.
Our first-person action survival game launches on March 27th, built on 3 core pillars: mystery and investigation,
This land is not safe.
survival, brutal combat.
So yeah, those are the main pillars upon
I mean, check, check, and check, right? Sounds fantastic. Mystery investigation, gunplay.
which this game is built. You'll notice there's no mention of branching consequences or character customization or world interactivity as core design tenets. It's helpful to remember that this is from Rebellion, the studio best known for their Sniper Elite series. Because yeah, I think this game bears a much closer resemblance to those games than anything else.
Where's the base building? Dead on arrival?
It is not an open world game in the traditional sense. The story unfolds over these modestly sized, disconnected maps with room for some light exploration, and it places an emphasis on action with surprisingly tight combat fundamentals. Like Sniper Elite, it's mostly unambitious in those aspects, but something that is pretty interesting here in Atomfall is its novel storytelling approach. It doesn't follow a linear main quest line, rather it invites investigation alone to drive the plot and exploration.
And I think that's interesting, right? It doesn't follow a linear story-based campaign. It's just like wherever you want to go, you kind of do the thing. And I think this is interesting because it takes what it's learned from everything else in the past, right? And I think it's hit that bar, but at the same time, it's trying something new where it's like, we don't want you to be like, I have to do this main campaign. We just kind of want you to like live in the world. The pushback here is that a lot of people will play and go, this is cool, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Some people need their handheld when they play games like this, and that could be the downfall of this game, but we'll see what happens when it comes out later this month.
With clues hidden around the world intended to sway your trust in the characters you meet. I wasn't able to gauge just how much these relationships meaningfully shape a playthrough based on my limited time with it, but the traces of it that I did get to experience do show promise. And that's important to note. I only had about 1.5 hours with this game, and that wasn't nearly enough time to come to a proper conclusion about whether it fully delivers on those core design pillars. My goal with this video is just to help you set the right expectations, because yeah, I think we're all guilty of tripping over our own expectations from time to time, and in that
I think bullets are very limited as well, because you have to scavenge and get all the bullets, if I'm not mistaken, when we watched the video a couple months ago.
way, you might have been disappointed to learn that this isn't as expansive or sophisticated as you might have imagined. But if you are one of those people that enjoys a leaner experience, like those found in Rebellion's previous games, Atomfall might be up your alley.
Well, hello! A new face!
Atomfall is set in the 1960s, taking place after the Windscale Fire of 1957, one of the worst nuclear accidents in recorded history. Atomfall, though, presents an alternate history where that disaster has turned much of the northern English countryside into a quarantine zone, now patrolled by military forces, bandits, and unnatural creatures. It's a setting clearly inspired by the likes of Fallout and Stalker, but what helps it set it apart are the distinctly British details. You'll come across regular supplies of tea, the iconic red telephone boxes are somehow still around. The people you come across will
Right. The buildings are all destroyed and like decrepit, but the phone booths are mint condition red paint.
yell at you for just looking at them funny. I mean, it's basically
Matter of fact, is there glass still in there?
somehow still around. The people
How is there glass still? Immersion broke. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, how's the glass still in the phone booth?
you come across will yell at you for just looking at them funny. I mean, it's basically the same as modern day London.
Time to bleed.
In the preview, I was dropped a couple hours into the story, and at this point, my character's still getting his bearings. He's suffered from amnesia with little recollection.
Oh, he's up there like a crucifix, like Jesus. Someone's gonna write an article about this. Someone's gonna write an article about how this is connected to Christianity and how it's devastating. Something's gonna happen.
Of how he ended
Keep
up.
an eye out for that.
up here. All he knows is that he needs to get the hell out of the quarantine zone. This journey began with me running into a group of cult members who appear to worship some entity birthed from the nuclear disaster. There was no
It'll be written by Kotaku, right? 100% written by Kotaku.
negotiation here. The enemies in Atomfall are seemingly wired to attack on sight, and so it was here I got my first taste of combat. And combat is solid. I actually feel like it's a notable step up from Sniper.
I'll be honest, I've been playing a lot of Avowed recently, and this just seems like Avowed, but in a post-apocalyptic setting, like the first-person aspect of it, right? Where I'm just kind of exploring, going around, and killing everything that's in the world.
Elite in this regard. For me, those games have felt kind of stuck in the past for a while now, with their animations and weapon handling, relying on a lot of the fun coming from the X-ray nutshots. Atomfall offers more of what you'd expect from a shooter from this era. Guns have a ton of kick to them, melee weapons feel especially weighty, and the way your enemies recoil and ragdoll to each hit provides some very satisfying feedback. Your combat repertoire also includes being able to fire a swift punch with
That guy took a shotgun to the chest and still going.
your offhand, or smack them with the butt of your weapon. If you feel so inclined, you can even give your enemy a boot to the gonads to send them off balance. Kind of a dirty tactic, to be sure, but anything goes in the wasteland.
Is there such thing as a dirty tactic? I watched something on Twitter today. Someone's like, should kicking be allowed in street fighting? I'm like, what? Street fighting, there's no rules. It's not like okay, we're about to fight. Now make sure you don't hit me in the head. Like, no kicks, just punching and pulling. Like, what are we talking about? A street fight's a street fight. Everything goes. If I see a mailbox and I can rip it off the thing and smash it over your head, I'm going to do it. That's what street fighting is.
There's also a basic skill tree here, with perks like making less sound during an assassination, or gaining a melee damage buff after killing a melee
I like how the skill tree is like patches. Like you're in the Boy Scouts or something, you know?
enemy. It's, you know, familiar stuff, bit reminiscent of the skill trees in stuff like Far.
Right, Argus. Argus says, there's no such thing as a dirty tactic when you're trying to kill someone, unless the classic honorable duel, right? You take off the white glove, you're like, I'm about to kick your ass. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Fight's a street fight.
Far Cry, but instead of gaining skills by leveling up, you find them out in the world in the form of training manuals. You also have the option of stealth. You can crouch in grass to stay hidden and sneak up behind enemies for a takedown, or take them out silently from range with a bow. That's about all the stealth.
Oh, I'm gonna like this game. I'm gonna like this game. That's our playthrough. Our playthrough is to eliminate everybody in the game. And I mean everybody. Everybody. Not one person will be alive in this world when I'm done.
Sandbox offered in my preview. I didn't notice any environmental elements that could help me out. I couldn't throw anything as a distraction except for an explosive I found, but that isn't exactly quiet. It could very much just be the case of this being a preview build that takes place so early in the story, though. It remains to be seen if the full game has more of that kind of thing to vary up your approach to encounters. What I did particularly like here
It also reminds me of Indiana Jones a little bit.
is that they've leaned into a bit of realism to push that survivalist fantasy. There are no
I don't think they do, Altern, because one of the other things I watched is one of the developers said that you can literally kill the quest givers.
health bars here, but you don't need
They said that you could actually beat the game without ever taking any quests. So
them, since
I think a lot of the stuff comes through the phone.
enemies don't have a lot of health, so you can trust that a single well-placed arrow to the dome is gonna take them out. By the same token,
nice.
you're equally
face.
fragile. Just a few shots and you're out cold. This means you can be very easily overwhelmed if you find yourself out of healing consumables or ammo in the middle of a fight, which happened to be a number of times in this short demo, given how scarce these things are. I mean, ammo especially is particularly hard to come by. Bag space is also extremely limited, so every item is competing for a space in your inventory. It was a little Stalker-esque in that way, making the stealth approach always.
And then I think all the weapons like break over time, if I'm not mistaken. So you can only use the gun for a certain period of time, I think. And then also the gun, maybe not the guns, but you run out of bullets. But the weapons, I think, break after a time.
Always the preferred tactic to help you preserve those supplies for when shit really hits the fan. Exploration is one of the main areas that was a lot simpler than I expected. To be clear, Atomfall is not offering a rich, expansive open-world experience like the trailers sort of have you imagine. The campaign seems to play out over a series of separate zones, each of them only taking like 5 to 10 minutes to run from one end to the other,
Like Avowed.
with some sort of core objective to overcome before you move on to the next. Scattered throughout are a number of landmarks to loot, like abandoned towns or enemy camps, as well as dungeons of sorts that house some kind of puzzle. Like this one here, I found inside a bunker where I needed to avoid a patrolling robot and somehow get the power up and running to open a vault door. But despite the zone's compact scale, I didn't feel like there was much going on between these landmarks, which is a shame given how ripe this post-nuclear setting is for
I would rather have, based on what he's saying, I would rather have a really detailed area than a wide open with no detail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would take, listen up, Todd, okay, from Bethesda. I would rather have taken one solar system and packed that shit with as much as possible than have 1,000 planets with nothing on it. You know what I mean? I would rather have a world where everything's detailed and going around and doing things and finding things than having an open world with nothing to do.
for those spontaneous encounters, or even just ambient world-building stuff. I didn't come across any exciting loot either, which, again, could be a result of me being so early in the game, but I wouldn't
Well, as far as loot, exciting loot, you know, you are in a post-apocalyptic world, so maybe you do find it. Maybe in your playtest you couldn't find it, and when you do find it, it's rather rewarding. You know what I mean? Because there's really, and plus the stuff you're finding in the world is like food and bullets.
expect much here, given there's no real gear system, and the trailers don't show off any wacky improvised weaponry or anything like that. Exploration is required for that more investigative element of the game,
Yellow
though.
box in there. The yellow box has to
example-
have something in there. You see that yellow box?
Like that.
Right here.
Exploration
Come on, that yellow box has got to be something good. I mean, it says supplies on it, but
is required for that more investigative element of the game, though. For example, that dungeon I mentioned with me needing to turn on the power, I was completely stumped. Straight up couldn't figure out the puzzle here.
Come on, bro. What do you mean you don't know what to do?
Needing to turn on
You follow the pipe, the yellow pipe.
the power, I was completely stumped. Straight up couldn't figure out the
Just follow the pipe.
puzzle here.
I can see it in the background. If you follow the yellow pipe.
Right before my preview ended as well, I was desperately trying to find the key to open this final door of a cult base, and it didn't drop from any of the guards, but eventually I found a note
You have to read. You gotta read.
outside the base from the key master who had scrawled some vague coordinates down that I had to manually pinpoint on the map. All that's to say that very little of this game is explicitly leading you by the hand. There's some really cool sleuthing required here, which in this day and age feels quite refreshing. Likewise, this investigation stuff is the driving force for the way that you progress the story. See, the conceit here is that there's no strict golden path. Rather, the game offers one broad mystery about the true nature of the nuclear disaster. How you piece this
Gamers don't read. Yeah, I was watching Asmongold, and he said that he looked it up online. He said that 77% are illiterate. They don't read. 77%, okay, don't read. Which means only 23% do read. If that doesn't scare you, or if you do read, I don't know why you're not the manager of your wherever you work. Because the other people are not reading. So you should be able to be up real high in wherever you do in your life if you know how to read.
together is determined by your interactions with the main characters, which may be sort of influenced by the clues hidden around to sway your trust in them.
I would take that pizza board right there, pick it up, and smash her over the head.
This is the part of Atomfall that I was least able to fully grasp in this brief hands-on, but it's definitely the most promising aspect of the game for me. I did catch glimpses of this system in my preview. For example, my character seemed to be under an affliction causing him to hear voices, and I'd picked up a note that clued me in on a herbalist who lives at an old mine. So I head over there, hoping she might be able to help, and I'm greeted by this excitable old lady.
Don't mind
Her name is Mother Django.
me. Everybody knows Mother Jago around here. I mean no harm. Folks that find their way to me are usually in need of something. What's on your mind, dear? Perhaps I can help.
Her warm British hospitality speaks to a kindly woman, so I get straight to the point. She can whisk up a tonic to ease the infection, but explains that a nearby cult has stolen the recipe, so I'd need to go fetch it from their camp. Additionally, she asked me to retrieve one of her herbalism books while I'm there, though tells me it's nothing worth killing over, which I thought was kind of
Got like dead squirrels on her hat.
interesting.
The druids have something of mine, my herbalism book. I'd like it back.
So go get it back. Why do I have to do your dirty work, lady?
Nothing worth killing over, you understand? But I would like it back.
Now, I did have options.
You see what she did there? Like, I like it back. Like, what are you, some mob boss now? She slide a hand over there. She's like, I'm not saying anything, but like it back. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
To approach this conversation in different ways. I could press her for more information to figure out her true intentions, or proceed with wariness and turn her away.
Why do the druids have your recipe? Probably she was with them and then murdered somebody and then left the area and she forgot her book. And now she's telling you to go get it because they stole it. She's trying to make you think that they stole it from her, but really she was the culprit.
Entirely. Throughout my playthrough, I also came across things that made me question my trust in her. Like on the way to that cult base, I was distracted by the ringing of one of those telephone booths, and on the other end was this mysterious voice warning me about her.
What I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I got like this third sense about things.
Do not trust Mother Jago.
First of all, her name's Mother Django. That's like a leader. Right? Why do they call her Mother Django?
Mother Jago is compromised.
And then at the cult base itself,
Yeah, see, she's like a front. She's telling you to go there so they ambush you. They know you're coming. You already called ahead. There's no fucking book. There's no book.
also found a note suggesting that the members were actually wanting to collude with her for
You know what I'm saying? I got it.
her supposed deeper connection to their strange deity. God damn it. Should have learned my lesson from Baldur's
This right here gave it away. Grabbed her hand and was saying, I need to get my book for me.
Gate 3. You can never trust an old lady in
Never trust the old ladies. They're the worst. Get out of here, Grandma.
the woods.
I love my grandmother. No longer with us. Ruthless. She was ruthless.
So, yeah, I definitely got the impression something sus was going on here, and I thought this was kind of cool. You know, the idea that a lot of the characters you meet might exist within a sort of grey area.
This is why everyone's dying. I'm going to be the cleanser of this world.
That there is no reliable narrator. That various things you'll happen upon are going to try to sway your trust in one direction or another.
That's what that's what we're going to be called. The cleanser. Atomfall. The cleanser. That's what we're going to be doing.
I'm really keen
Jack Burton as the cleanser.
to see how that all manifests, and if Rebellion are able to deliver on that sort of non-linear storytelling approach. And that concludes my short time with Atomfall. Again, I want to reiterate that this wasn't really enough time to understand the full breadth of these systems and whether they can sustain a full playthrough. What I do know now is that this is a much simpler game than I think many are expecting. It's more of an arcadey action game with light RPG elements, rather than trying to be a rich, deeply immersive RPG experience. Walking away from the preview, I certainly have much more measured expectations for Atomfall now, but I'm still keen to see how the full game pans out, given its solid combat fundamentals and interesting narrative structure. Like I said,
Dude, that whole room.
full game pans
is
out,
filled
given
with
its
yellow.
solid combat fundamentals
Like you have to
and
look at the
interesting
yellow.
narrative.
The yellow doors. You got the yellow pipes. How could you be confused? How many of you haven't played a game like this before without telling me you've never played a game like this before?
Structure. Like I said in the intro, this has a very similar feel to Rebellion's previous games in its trimmed back, focused design, kind of reminiscent of the games that we got back in the Xbox 360 era. Something that's fundamentally quite simple, but has some promising ideas. If you're into that, then Atomfall might be worth keeping an eye on. You can likely expect a full review around its release on March 27th.
You know,
Eye on. You
out
can
of all
likely
the things right? I'm hyper joking here, but again, if a nuclear bomb went off, how is the phone booth, first off, still standing? And how is the phone booth still have glass? There's no windows in any of the buildings, but yet the phone booth still has glass. What is that bulletproof glass? What's happening here?
Full review around its release on March 27th.
A lot of people ask me how to break into the games media business. There are plenty of ways to do it, to be honest, but for me, I like to write. I like to write my scripts. I very rarely do anything off the cuff. Writing gives me the time to think things through and make sure I...
Is a Squarespace ad? All right. Go check out the Skill Up link down in the description below. I like watching his stuff, even though it was Austin that did the review. He says, 30, relax. They didn't say it was a nuclear explosion, the nuclear reactor that put out the radiation. Got it. So all the glass and wherever glass is broke except the phone booths. People just respect the phone booths. I got it. Radiation put some kind of nuclear fire. They probably would have messed with the windows. Got it. Every window's broke except the phone booth. I got it. British people do love their phone booths, so they probably didn't want to, deface the phone booth. I got you. So if the nuclear bomb went off, got a telephone booth. Got it. That's right. It's the most safest place on the planet. Just close the door. You're good. People going around smashing windows like that. An untold story. Do not break the windows in the phone booth. Mother Django will come after you. That's the story. Mother Django is the mob boss for all the red phone booths in the game. Okay? That's how she's made her earnings, right? So if you touch or break a window in the red phone booths, Mother Django comes for you. That's where she comes and gets you. She's like, "Did you break that window in the red phone booth?" Dead, sir. Go get my recipe book. That's what's going to happen. They only maintain the phone booths for Superman and the Doctor. Yeah. That's it. That'd be cool. Each phone booth is a fast travel point. The TARDIS. All right, the next story. This is gonna be a while. People are gonna lose their minds. I can already see the people coming in and being like, "What? This is a failure. It's done. It's over." Okay. Now I've been on record saying, I said two things. I said I don't understand why Xbox would make a handheld. But I did say the only way I would take a handheld is if the handheld had Steam on it. And that would be next level, right? Next level type of stuff. Those two things I have said. Why would you sell a console when you're losing the console war? Okay, in a very populated in a handheld market. And I've also said if they have Steam on their handheld, that's a different story. So, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you're a member of the channel, you can join our Discord. Everyone can join our Discord, but if you're a member of our channel, you can link your to the Discord, and more rooms open up for you. We have a nice about 235 members in the audience that are part of our Discord, and you can talk in the channels and talk about wrestling and movies and TV shows and comic books and whatnot. So I'm trying to revamp a little bit of the Discord as well. So if you have any ideas and you want to give some feedback, if it's stream, if it's for content creators that you want me to interview, or if you have feedback for the Discord or for the stream, let me know in Discord. All right, so exclusive, Xbox new hardware plans begin with a gaming handheld set for later this year, ? With full next-gen console targeted for 2027. Now, Microsoft's first fully foray into PC gaming handhelds begins with the partner device set to launch later this year, with its own Xbox Series S/X successor now fully in production. Okay, so what they're saying here, just off the cuff here, is that they're going to come out with a handheld later this year. Which, in an interview with Phil Spencer, he talked about how the S, basically, if it can run on the S, then it can run on the handheld, and we never thought about that before. At least I've never thought about that before. It's like it'd be the lowest common denominator, and if they did bring in, this is why I said the handheld wouldn't make sense, because if they brought the handheld in, they would have to parry it, and if they parry it, it'd be the lowest common denominator on the platform, right? Especially if they wanted it across the board. But in that one interview that we watched about 2 weeks ago, he said that if it runs on the S, it'll run on the handheld. And the S has been a test this entire time, which makes sense, right? And everyone calls it the potato. Okay, but here we go. So it says, here's your first glimpse at the Xbox next-gen hardware plans and some part of being executed more quickly than you might think. Okay, this article is written by Jez Gordon, by the way, who's pretty good at his rumors and sources and whatnot. Okay, the Xbox Series S generation has been a bit of an odd one. Microsoft Xbox console hardware sell-through has declined quarter over quarter for some time, but Xbox addressable monthly active users base has been skyrocketing. Owning to purchase the Activision Blizzard arm of the mobile games like Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush Saga, and Hearthstone, atop of core games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and Microsoft Future in Gaming, is all about guaranteed. What has been a little less clear is Xbox plans for hardware. I just want to go back. We watched Destin's video yesterday, and he wanted to know why Xbox or Microsoft bought Activision, okay? And in this one sentence by Jez should tell you why they bought it, right? Owning the purchase of Activision Blizzard, armed with mobile games like Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush Saga, and Hearthstone, okay? They're like, well, what are you doing with the mobile? That's all they wanted. That right there, let's just say if Warner Brothers owned Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush, and Hearthstone, let's just say they wouldn't be blaming Suicide Squad for the failure of everything else afterwards. Because they would take that money and put it, well, no, WB would fuck it up in some way, shape, or form. Let's be honest. All right. Microsoft has been putting exclusive console games like Forza Horizon 5 onto PlayStation to help grow the profitability of its business in the near terms, addressing users where they are also far more cost-effective than Microsoft would also need to acquire a new Xbox console user potentially. Okay. However, the strategy has been questioned. For long-term damage, it also might be Xbox console hardware. Microsoft appears keen to continue servicing the legacy Xbox audience with new hardware. Regardless of over the past few months, we've been working on figuring out exactly what it might look like, and here's what we've learned. Okay. First up, Microsoft is working with a PC OEM, think Asus or Lenovo or MSI or Razer, etc., on the Xbox brand gaming handheld, surprisingly slated for later in 2025. If plans are met, codename Keenan, okay, is gaming handheld will look unmistakably Xbox, we're told, complete with an official Xbox guide button. The Xbox designed sensibilities, given that these partner device similar to Lenovo's Steam OS partnership with Valve, I expect the handheld to be more PC-oriented. The Keenan is also almost definitely running Windows, putting the Microsoft Store to PS Game Pass front and centered, along with the ability to install things like Steam. Okay, so if this system comes out later this year, I don't think it's going to fly off the shelves because a lot has to go on here, okay? What's the price point? Are they bringing this thing out and it's like $600-$700? Right? Not going to sell very well. Okay, obviously you're going to get Keeping Up with the Joneses. You're going to sell like $1 million, $1.5 million or something like that, okay? But for the most part, you need to eat this cost, okay? If Xbox is losing money on their consoles, and again, these are just my opinions, right? These are my thoughts, okay? But if they're losing $200 off of the Xbox Series X, then you can't make a handheld higher than the Series X because you're going to lose your ass on that as well, okay? So they're going to lose the money, but they have to get people in on the ecosystem, okay? So if they can get a massive amount of people with a price point low, I'm thinking Switch price, $300, $400, okay? If it's the S, but it's portable, okay, and you could charge $300 to $400, that's the price point it needs to be to make a dent for them. They'll lose money off of it, okay? They'll lose money off of it, but acquiring new customers, okay? If you could put Steam and run Steam on the actual device through Windows, now I get to play the Xbox games, I get to play my Game Pass games on the go. I get to, even though I can do it now, but you have a dedicated device. You can play the Game Pass games. You can play all Xbox games day and date on the handheld. You get Steam on there. And if you can get Steam on there, well, guess what? You can play PlayStation games on Steam, which is on the Xbox device. Okay? People would lose their mind if this has happened. If Steam is on board with this, and they have something to go along with Steam, with the handheld, then this will actually be very successful for them, because that is bringing something to the market that people want. Okay? Convenience. Okay? Now, Xbox could fuck this up big time, because even if they bring Steam on, but they have to make it super difficult to, you got to go through this thing and that thing to try to get it on, then they're going to ruin it for themselves. But if they just make it super simple, remember, people don't want to go from this to this on their computer screen, right? So the less buttons I have to press to get through the menu system to get to Game Pass or get to Steam and run the device, the better. Convenience is what people want. This device will likely serve as a the least in part of a research experience for Microsoft. Okay, research experience with Microsoft. Expect the handheld will test new Windows 11 device-aware capabilities while reducing third-party OEM bloatware. And also typical of the devices like the Lenovo Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally. I expect Microsoft to leverage widgets on the Xbox Game Bar on PC, controlling things of TDP and fan speed, while also hopefully having more streamlined OS experience for users, for controller use, of course. Existing PC gaming OEMs will benefit from this efforts as well, and the research has also helped with Microsoft's further out plans. Okay? It says, because indeed, our source also indicates that Microsoft's internal successor of the Xbox Series S and X platform has been full greenlit all the way up to the CEO, Nadella. For now, understand Microsoft's next-gen hardware plans to include premium successor to the powerful Xbox Series X alongside its own Xbox games, handheld, and several new controller options. Tentatively, these new console devices are slated for 2027. Okay? So not only are they putting this next device, this is like Xbox 2.0 or 2.5, waiting for the next gen, right? So this system, S and X, came out in 2000. They don't have an upgrade system. The X is the upgraded system. They keep it at the same. Now they're bringing a handheld device to bring it in. And now think about this, right? So now there's people still on the One. There's people on the S. There's people on the X. There'll be people on the handheld. There's people on the mobile device. There's people on the television sets. There's people on PCs. And then in 2027, they're coming out with another console that's more powerful. If they're doing parity, all these stuff that came before will be less of it. But hear me out here. The handheld comes out, and it's as powerful as the S, maybe just a little bit more powerful, but then they have a more powerful box than the X. Well, then the next console is that high end, and then the low end is the handheld, which is the same as pairing with the S and the X, right? But we'll see. We'll see how it happens. It seems that the next-gen Xbox console will be closer to Windows than ever before, reducing the amount of work developers have commit to when porting the PC. I understand that when they continue to support backwards capability with legacy Xbox games too. However, Xbox President Sarah Bond previously announced that the project team specifically designed to promote backwards and forwards capability for existing Xbox games for that end. Xbox-led Phil Spencer has teased in previous interviews the desire to support third-party storefronts. On Xbox hardware, to include platforms like Epic Games Store, GOG, itch.io, even with Steam itself, every reason to presume AI will also have a role playing in the next gen as well as Xbox Cloud capabilities. If all of these things are on this one device, if it's the only device that does this type of stuff, then it'll sell really well. But if this is the first step, sort of like when they first came out with Xbox, try to be the set-top box, it was too early before its time, and now every device is basically a set-top box. Basically, that's what this is. If this comes out and has all this stuff on their handheld before everybody else, then it would be good. But if everyone comes out with a handheld device and they all do the same thing, it'd be like, buy what you prefer, because they're all going to do the exact same thing, basically, right? Connectivity is what they've also been told, and allow players to switch them between different devices. Of course, there's also plenty of logistic issues overcoming in regards to some of these plans. Always note that the plans might change between 2027 or now and 2027. Consider the preview that also could come into pass. We also wait for the official reveal from Microsoft itself. The device on its way for Xbox fans, new and old. It says Xbox multi-device future revolves around meeting players exactly where they are, regardless of device, geographic, or playstyle. The acquisition of Activision Blizzard accelerated that vision, anchoring Microsoft as gaming company for the foreseeable future. Microsoft's slate upcoming Xbox games is stronger than ever, and the possibilities of integration between Game Pass, Battle.net, cloud, Microsoft mobile games is also offer tantalizing potential. Think about this, right? Think about this. If the handheld comes out and it is a piece and it's also, like a console, and you can play, I don't know, World of Warcraft across the board with that, that's game changing. More people would buy that. Okay, but we'll see. Microsoft's strategy has also de-emphasized to own an Xbox console audience as the main growth vector. However, with the successors on the brand, we've argued in previous editorials that Microsoft needs to bring the core audience along for the ride rather than leave them behind. Also, hardware plans that seem to be doing exactly that. By linking Xbox to Windows, Microsoft can also cast off the need to build a system that is completely lockstep with the PlayStation on features and power, right? As Nintendo did. Nintendo left the island to make the Switch, and everyone was like, what the fuck is the Switch? How is this going to work? And now here we are, 8 years later, and the Switch is only the third system ever to make 150 million sales and above, right? So now Windows could be doing this with the next Microsoft handheld device or whatever it is, but we'll see how powerful it is. Okay, by linking the Xbox and Windows, Microsoft can cast off the need to build a system completely lockstep, like they said. Right? Thanks to the Xbox Series S, Microsoft has a large amount of games that could be more easily ported to a handheld type system. Think about that, and again, we didn't think about it until about 3 weeks ago. But they had this thing for 5 years, and all these games that they told people have to run on the S, okay, in parity with the X. Now, here's the plans, right? Obviously, they didn't just decide to make a handheld device. They've been working on a handheld device for quite some time. And if they've already tested and they know all of these games that run on the S will now easily move over to the handheld, well, they've already been ported. They're already working very well, and they can run on that handheld device. It's very, very nice, smart move, right? Phil Spencer playing 4D chess here, right? So it says the system also remake backwards compatibility ensures that those also developers optimize. Oh, the next gen console. Thanks for the Xbox Series S. Microsoft already has a large amount of games that can also be more easily ported to the handheld type system. The strong possibility that these features systems will also remain backwards compatible ensures that those of us who are also digitally locked into the Xbox ecosystem will have a place to upgrade to its future. Future Xbox games will likely be in the Windows-oriented, hopefully with Xbox Play Anywhere, as default licensing model. Of course, there will also still so much to be that we don't know. You can only speculate upon for now. Price, specs, features, and developer support and beyond are the future report, right? So what do you guys think, right? What do you think if they make this handheld device? Again, if it's just a Xbox, no Steam attached to it, okay, I think it's a dumb move. 100% I think it's a dumb move, okay? To get into the market of the handheld and it's just an Xbox handheld, dumb move. But if it's a handheld device that plays Steam and plays other things, 100% next level, because then people would want to buy that actual thing. Now, I still have questions, right? As they say, speculate upon now, price, specs, features. Is it just a handheld? Or is it a thing that you can lock into a dock that you can play the games on your television set, right? Or is it just a handheld? I think that's also a big selling point, right? I think if you sell for $400 and it can lock on to a device that goes to your television set, and now it's basically a Series S, a little bit more powerful, and you can remove it and play it on the go, then that's smart, okay? Again, PlayStation could do the exact same thing. If I don't need to own an Xbox to use this handheld device, and the handheld device is its own thing, very smart. If PlayStation did the Portal the same way, where I don't need to own a PlayStation, I can just own the Portal, be very smart, okay? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, you guys are here. Arga says, if that handheld has Steam accessibility, we're cooking big time. That's right. If it doesn't, then we're not cooking, right? We're not cooking. It's like a microwave dinner if it doesn't have it, and if it has it, like a fucking grill. We're cooking. Okay? As gamers, you want Steam on the handheld device, and you can access your Xbox games, you can access your Steam games, you can access your GOG games, you can access your PlayStation that are on PC. Rokill says, so you just want a Steam Deck. Why don't you just buy a Steam Deck? Did you not hear what I said during the actual thing? One, the Steam Deck is too expensive. Two, you can't play all the things that you can right now, right? It's convenience, the convenience of how making it simple for people to get and play the things on one device. Not jumping through hoops. People just want to do this to this. That's it. This is too hard on a PC. So in a handheld, if I have to go through menu systems and download this other thing to get this to work, no. On the actual thing, not surpassing past a thing to put the iOS system on there or put the Windows system on there. They want convenience. Convenience is the thing. Argus says, nah, I need an Xbox Steam Deck hybrid. I already own a Steam Deck. Sarge says, we all know it's for mobile, and if you didn't wake the fuck up, look at the revenue. Sarge also says long-term damage, $3 billion a quarter. Get the fuck out of here. Argus says Activision Blizzard is going to pay itself off. Easy money. If I think it was basically a handheld Xbox with Steam access, that's easy sell for me. That's an easy sell for a lot of people because of the two. If it's just an Xbox, not a good sell. Come on, Jones. Jones says I just ordered one. Steam sideloaded. I don't know if it's sideloaded. I think it actually will be on there. I think they're working together. There's rumors about, Microsoft and Steam working together. Bracken says, I'll wait for the Steam Deck 2, but this is definitely enticing. I'm a huge fan of handhelds. Sarge says, wait a minute. What if they're releasing a handheld first, and then when it can use Steam, they release WoW on console? Now WoW is portable. Well, I don't even need Steam for WoW. WoW is on the battle.net, right? So, but the WoW on mobile, like on a handheld device, and then release it on the console and everywhere else is the same, huge. Isn't Xbox just a handheld anyways? It is. I use it all the time when I'm on vacation, right? This upcoming week, or this weekend or next weekend, I'm going on vacation for like 3 days. I'm going to be out of town, and I just grab my backbone, my phone, and I play. Bracken says, please make an OLED handheld Microsoft. Drummond says, 30, will you be getting one? I don't know. I would have to see it. I'm not a person, Drummond, that I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited. Like I don't get consoles right when they come out. I gotta see some things first. I don't even know if, like, when they announce the new next gen consoles in 2027, if it's Xbox or PlayStation, even though I'm a streamer, I don't know if I pick up one day one. Right? Like, even though I have an Xbox right now, I'm a little pissed off that it took them this many years to start putting stuff on it. Right? So I don't need it day one. Jack says, what about the rumor Steam app that's supposed to be coming on to console? If that happens, Jax, that's what people want, right? Microsoft's just trying to make it more convenient. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago, right? When we looked at what video we were watching, it was kind of funny, right? Kind of funny. They were going back and forth. You guys didn't like that video, but they were going back and forth, and they were all complaining. At the end of the video, I was like, all they want is convenience. That's all they want. Most people just want convenience. If they can bring it so it's super easy for you to get all these things on one device, they're hitting the point of where people want. Eclipse says, yeah, Steam Deck is Linux-based, so it's very hard to get the other things besides Steam on it. Right. Player says, 30, I don't think Microsoft is selling anything at a loss next generation. Until it just said during the last financial report is that they're focusing on high margins. Yes, but you're talking about the next console, 2027. I'm talking about these handhelds. There's no way that they're not going to lose on these things. If they want, in my opinion, player, right? If they want to get this in the hands of people, they have to price it right. And if you price it out of the price point where it's like $600, $700, now you're looking at this going, well, wait a minute. Switch 2 is coming out. We don't know the price point of that, but let's say it's $400. Okay. Then you have the Steam Deck, you have the Lenovo, you have the ROG Ally, whatever. You have so many handhelds to pick from. Okay, if they price that at $700 or $600 or whatever it is, you got to make sure that you're not pricing yourself out because you want to make your margins. Microsoft has the ability to lose money because they have so many other avenues because of Microsoft, not because of Xbox, because of Microsoft, where they can lose money on these things to get them in people's hands. If they decide to make it a $500, $600 system, in my opinion, they've outpriced themselves, sort of like the headsets. That's why MetaQuest is selling much better now, MetaQuest 3, because of a lower price point. Okay? Even Sony has now taken their headset and pushed it down to the price below the headsets because that's the price point. So they might lose money off of the headsets for the VR headsets, but now it's a much better value. Not only can you get the PSVR 2 headset and it uses on PC, but now it's a lower price and you can use it on more places. Before it was just on PlayStation and you needed to buy a PlayStation. Not anymore, right? So if they bring this handheld out and it's way up high in price, to me that's already a failure. They have to have it at a low cost, eat the cost, get the player acquisition to get a person onto Game Pass is much more valuable than getting the full price for the actual system, in my opinion, right? Because if you look at all these reports of people talking about how keeping the person and getting the acquisition of customers on your ecosystem is much higher, okay? Well, much more important, I should say, than getting a sale. They want an acquisition to get you in the ecosystem. Handheld device, there's nothing to put in, right? It's all digital. So if you could get them on board with that digital device and they start buying games or playing Game Pass, they're locked in with that handheld device. Altern says, but it isn't every screen in Xbox, even your toaster? It is. It is. 30, can you explain to me how does it putting Steam on Xbox make Microsoft shareholders more money? It makes them more money because if Steam wins, Xbox wins. If more people are buying the stuff and they're in the ecosystem, okay, and they're paying monthly for the Game Pass, and there's Steam on there, okay, then you would have to keep your subscription on that device to keep that device going. Not only are you buying the device, but if there's nothing to insert, right, it's not like they're going to make cards, right? It's going to be all digital, I would assume. I'm taking a big leap of assuming here, okay? But I'm assuming they're not going to be able to put a cartridge in or a disc inside the actual machine. I could be wrong. It would be an all-digital box, handheld. And if that's the case, then you need to either pay a subscription model to keep your box running because Game Pass and whatever else, or if you don't have Game Pass, then you're buying the games, so you own the device, you're paying for the games, so that would make more money for the shareholders. And then if Steam's on there, it's more appealing to people because now people look at Steam and go, oh, damn, Steam's on there? I'm going to buy the device. I'm going to pay for games. And they get a profit off of that. I don't think they will pre-install Steam on it. We'll see. We'll see, Persia. We don't know anything, right? We're all guessing right now. I would assume, based on the assumptions of the speculations, I should say, of other people talking about rumors, that they're working on a deal one-on-one with Steam. Now, 50%, whatever split, who knows? Right? Steam doesn't need Xbox. Steam is fine the way they are. Xbox doesn't need Steam. Xbox is fine where they are with what they're doing with Game Pass and everything else. But Xbox much more needs Steam and Steam needs Xbox. You see what I'm saying? And Xbox will be like, yeah, whatever the deal is, 50%, take what it is. So if someone buys something off Steam, they only take 30%. That's still 30% of people. They still bought their device. Why do we need player acquisition? We're the meeting players. We're at anyways. Why do they need player acquisition where they're meeting players where they're at anyways? Because they're not on Game Pass. To get Netflix was at a saturation point, right? They were at a saturation point. Everyone was watching Netflix, okay? But they couldn't grow anymore. Why? Because people were sharing their passwords. So everyone was using the same password. So like, well, how do we do this? Well, we have to either lock down the passwords so these people that are sharing passwords get themselves. That's a new acquisition. Okay? Now they're up to 300 million. So there's people that are not on Game Pass, and they're like, well, how do we get these people on Game Pass? Well, people like handhelds. Well, what would bring people onto Game Pass? Well, if we have digital games and they can play on the go, on a dedicated device and there's Steam on there, that would be an acquisition, and they would get the player acquisition onto their ecosystem. Robert Jones says, reminds me, I need to cancel Game Pass. Planning to keep a handheld running is a big oof. No. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. If you're a person that buys the handheld and you have Game Pass, you stop paying for Game Pass, you're not going to play those games. You still have the games that you pay for, though, Jones. That's what it is right now. I have a console, and if I stop paying for Game Pass, then I lose access to all those games. I still have access to the games I bought. Wouldn't Steam hurt their 30% cut on software sales? That's 30% that they wouldn't make before. Would you rather have 0% of 100%? Would you rather have 100% of zero, or would you rather have 30% of everything? Do Xbox really need Steam? Xbox made $24 billion last fiscal year in gaming revenue. Putting Steam on Xbox is a guaranteed sell. If you get them in Game Pass, just sell them games for full price like any other publisher. You're still in the old school mentality of you have to sell a console. That's not the business that Microsoft's in anymore. If you can't see that, player, I don't know what to tell you. They're done selling boxes. You sell a box, you're in a small echo chamber of 250 million people that'll buy a box. If you sell digital goods, it opens up to 2.8 to 3.5 billion people. Right? This is just a handheld. They're still putting it on the phones. They're still putting it on your screens. They're still putting it in your television sets. They're still in the cloud. I don't know why people are still like obsessed with these consoles. Like, oh, console's it. No, yeah. Again, you're in the mentality of they need to sell consoles. As people said, the horse and buggy is never going to be overthrown by a car. Right? The car was invented. The car didn't put horse and buggy out of business. People still use horse and buggy, but there's a lot less. Consoles are still going to exist. They're not going anywhere. They still have their importance of people that want to buy consoles. But a company wants to grow, and they can't grow exponentially because people are not going to buy a console. If you can make it more convenient, play it without owning something through Game Pass, through cloud, through your television set that you already bought, and it happens to play games, that's much better. Eclipse says the same thing that Sony fans said, well, it's not hurting Sony. They're not putting any money towards the Xbox games. I mean, if the consumers is another ecosystem, just sell the games at full price like they do with the Call of Duty on PlayStation. Again, you're thinking old school of this is the model. The model is get full price, get a monthly subscription, get digital goods, get them on mobile. Like, there's multiple ways for the business to make money now. It's not just sell full game on console box. Hence why third-party companies are putting their games everywhere. More potential to get more money. Hence why PlayStation's even putting their games on PC now, potentially to make additional money. PlayStation knows what's happening. They made a handheld. It's just that their handheld, you need to buy a PlayStation. The corporations know. They talk to each other. They all know what's happening. When the industry decides that everything's going digital, you have no choice to buy physical. They make you decide if you want physical or not. Make a problem, sell a solution. You're like, I'm not buying it because I don't have a console. Okay. Then nobody has a console. And they're like, well, I really want to play video games, so I guess I have to buy digital. Warbear says, basically, it's not even about Xbox nor PlayStation anymore. Streaming is the way now. Microsoft was just smart enough to see it before Sony. PC is the next best option. Put your game day one on it equals win. I said it a year and a half ago. I said within, I think I said between 6 and 7 years, cloud would be the majority. Okay, I still stick by that. We're down to 5.5. Okay. Again, majority doesn't have to be 90%, doesn't have to be 60%. It only needs to be like 32 to 33%. Right? Technology is exponentially faster and faster. More people are playing games digitally. Think about this, right? In 2 years, let's say PlayStation makes a handheld, and Xbox has a handheld, and Steam has a handheld, and Nintendo has the Switch 2, right? They're all out there. So now there's 4 companies, 5 companies, 6 companies. They all have a handheld. They're all digital, and they're all working on the cloud. In just 2 more years, everyone's using cloud-based stuff on handheld devices across the world. Waterbear says, 30, I believe whoever gets the deal to bundle their service with the internet will corner the market for a while. I don't know if they have to. When you say bundle the internet, you're talking about like your service provider, like you're working with, I don't know, AT&T or whatever? Is that what you're talking about? Robert Jones says, sounds terrible. Might sound terrible, but that's the way it's going to go. Why? Because the industry says what it does. The market says what it does. And if people keep buying digital goods, more digital goods are going to happen. If people are buying more digital games are going to happen. If more people buy the handheld devices and to keep the battery life down and the processing is not done on the actual handheld device itself, that's what's going to happen. Waterbear says streaming gaming services with discounted price on internet. I guess that would be a huge deal though. To like all of a sudden PlayStations with AT&T and like Xboxes with Verizon. Do you know what I mean? That would be very weird. Now we're getting into different markets completely because now they're holding back what console you can have based on the internet. Some people won't be able to play those certain games in their area because their internet provider's not there. So you would have a monopoly on your hands. So like in my area, I'm using Spectrum, right? And if Spectrum is got to deal with PlayStation, then I couldn't even buy an Xbox at that point, right? Now you're killing the market. I don't know if that ever works, Waterbear. I don't know if that ever works. It's like right now I can't get fiber because AT&T is 100 feet away from me, but I'm out of their district. Eclipse says, having where you can also play Steam games with no internet on that platform and will be also a system seller for Xbox. Correct. Roku says, yeah, but PC don't buy games. Really? I mean, I have like about 200 games on my account. Robert Jones says the ISP usually gives the goodies when you sign up. I got $100 from Verizon. Yeah, but you could plug any box you want into that system, though, Jones. Like your internet for that box is your choice. You know what I'm saying? What Water's saying is if they team up with a provider, then you would be stuck with just that provider. You wouldn't be able to use the other machine. Elon was streaming on Starlink, which is the internet from a satellite, with little to no lag. Yeah. Yeah. PC is a headache that no one wants. Nobody but 2.8 billion people that play PC games, huh? What are you talking about? Roadkill? There's literally 2.8 billion people that play games on PC. That's not mobile games. PC gamers, 2.8 billion people. What are you talking about? Oh, sure, Jones. Them giving you a gift card is one thing. Them saying you can only use one box because that's the provider we're using is completely different. It says 44 million concurrent players that were on 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what stats you're looking at. There's 3.5 billion mobile phones, 2.8 billion PC gamers. No, you don't need to buy a PlayStation to use a Portal. You did when the Portal came out. What are you talking about? Holy shit. Now we're going to deny this, right? You could not use a PlayStation Portal unless you had a PlayStation. If they now changed it, okay, after the fact, where you can now get Wi-Fi and use it, you still had to have a PlayStation in the beginning. So why is streaming better on PlayStation? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Roadkill comes in and is like, I'm just gonna say some shit. Let me move the goalpost. Let me pull out, like, who said streaming was better on one side than the other? Nobody said that. Nobody said that, Roadkill. You came out here saying you need to own a PlayStation. False. You did need to own a PlayStation. You also needed to own a PlayStation to use the VR headset, which you don't now anymore. You could buy a PlayStation VR 2 headset and just use it for PC. I think Roadkill might be Travis in disguise. Roadkill and Travis are the same person. Like, crazy. Maybe they've never seen it at the same time. No, I know Roadkill's not Travis. Or do Roadkill's actually me, right? I play Roadkill and myself so I can talk to myself. Yeah, I'm not even real. Yeah. What's happening? Fucking crazy pills over here. Roadkill is the multiverse version of Travis. Roadkill is the 13 Brainiacs right now. What he's doing. The clip says, I was watching Dr. Disrespect yesterday, and he had a person playing with him that didn't even know how to use Stream because he plays on Battle.net. Or Steam, because he plays on Battle.net. Launcher for Warzone all the time. Steam isn't the only thing people use on PC. No, there's plenty of other things. That's funny, though. All right, let me scroll down here. I think we have other story. I have one more story I could do. We're done with the main ones that we did today. What else? Got Call of Duty. Uh-oh. Call of Duty hits record lows on Steam. Oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What's the record lows? It's still what's the lows? Right now, they're at 54,000. That's in February. 54,000. They're losing. I don't understand what people. I'm not even going to read this article. I'm not even going to read this article because it's idiotic. Okay. Everyone thinks we still live in like 2000, where there's like 100 games that come out, and only the 100 games that people are playing is the only games that are out there. Right? There's literally thousands and thousands of games that people can play. Right? People don't, as Roadkill said, no one buys games on PC. Meanwhile, 2.8 billion people are playing different games, indie titles, stupid games, one-time thing, right? Call of Duty sold games. If I buy a single-player game, if I buy a multiplayer game, the key word here, buy an actual game, and then I stop playing the game that I purchased or bought 1 hour after I bought it, or 1,000 hours after I bought it, it doesn't matter because you bought it and it sold and they made money off of you. Okay? For them to say, right, because here's the list on Steam, right, because only people on Steam are playing Call of Duty, by the way. Okay. Right? They're like, oh no. In November, when it came out, 165,000 concurrent players were playing, and in December it went down to 93, and then January went down to 61, and then in February it went down to 54. Uh-oh. Red alert. Red alert. Call of Duty's done. It's sinking. It's never going to make money again. Oh, wait. Another Call of Duty's coming out in just a couple of months. We're okay. We're okay. Free-to-play Warzone still out there. By the way, charging $100 for Teenage Mutant Turtle skins. Charging $90 for Monkey Glove. Don't worry about it. I think they're doing just fine. Orbear says maybe Battlefield has a chance. No? Kraken says just add the Ice Spice skin and it'll bounce back. That's it. That's all you need to do, Kraken. Potter Bear says, I'll come back for the Megan the Stallion skin myself. So why is there not 2 billion copies sold? What do you mean? Hold on, let me check how many, because I don't know how many Call of Duty sold. I haven't bought a Call of Duty in 14, 15 years. Let me see. What was the last Call of Duty? Black Ops 6? Call of Duty Ops 6 has helped Call of Duty franchise over 500 million. I want to know what they sold. No, see, they don't tell the numbers. They don't tell the numbers. Microsoft, Nadella attempt to offset these concerns with investors calling Black Ops 6 sales were up 60% compared to 2023. So what's that number? We have no idea what that number is. Eclipse comes back. Bam! So why did Astrobot have 70 million copies sold? Well, first of all, Eclipse, it'd be hard to sell 5 million more than PlayStations out there, because there's not 70 million PlayStations out in the wild. In the stores, there's 75 million, but there's not 70 million units in people's homes. Astrobot buy well over time. So does that work for other games too? That made like 10 million copies sold over like 2 years? Or does it only work for PlayStation games, Roadkill? What was the game called in 2023? Call of Duty. Let's see. Game sales. Game. Let's see. Call of Duty 2023 game sales. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was Modern Warfare 3, right? Hogwarts Legacy was the most selling game that year. It outsold Call of Duty. First time ever in 15 years, a company besides Grand Theft Auto, by the way. That wasn't Grand Theft Auto. It doesn't say this. It doesn't say the sales. Let's see. Call of Duty 2023 game sales, Reddit. 7th highest. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is 7th overall. Let's see. Refuse to believe that people are paying for NBA 2K25. Well, they are. They are. No, they don't share. Okay, here it says it sold 15 million copies. It sold 15 million copies in 2023. And Hogwarts sold 25 million copies. So it sold 15 million copies, so 60% more than 15 million. I'm I'm sorry, but 1.5 million sales with consoles that has a 70 million. Well, I'll be honest with you, Eclipse. If Astrobot cost $10 to make, obviously it didn't. But what I'm saying is we don't know the budget. If the budget of Astrobot was, I don't know, 20 million, right? 100 million. Selling, what was the price of Astrobot? Was it full price? Was it a $60 game? Right? Was it a $60 game? If it cost 100 million and it sold 1.5 or 2 million copies, then it made its money back. Right? You see what I'm saying? So it would be successful. But we don't actually know what the price or the budget was. This is why I don't like bringing up the copies sold, because you don't know what the budget cost. So it was 60 million. Well, then it was very successful then. Oh, it was $60. It was $60, but we don't know what it cost. I got you. Here, right? So let's say what did it say? 1.5 million? 1.5 million. It made a profit of 90 million. Well, it made 90 million. Okay? Off the 1.5. Okay, that's now. Now it'll sell on. They're going to bundle it with the PlayStations, right? So it'll sell more than that. Right? It might have like 5 million sales, whatever. But we don't know the budget. If the budget was 90 million, then it broke even. If the budget was 60 million, and then after advertisement and whatnot, if it still made money, it made money. Now, I do understand what you're saying. The engagement of this would be the war. This would be the fight that people have with console wars, right? Where they're like, 70 million units out there, but it only sold 1.5 million or 2 million copies. That's not a really good ratio for the 70 million that's potentially out there, right? But then Starfield, which is on Game Pass, which is on Xbox and PC, and there's 30 million people that played it, or 10 million people that played it. But there's only 30 million units, 28 million, 32 million units of Xbox out there, but then there's also a crap ton of PCs that they didn't buy it, right? But we know that 2 million bought it, but we don't know the rest. 8 million people, if they bought it, if they rented it, we don't know. But we also don't know the budget. We can say that maybe 160 to 200 million. And how much money is that? Is Starfield successful based on the budget? We don't know. Starfield is about 8 million more. So they made what, 20, 24, 25, 22 million. 22 million for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Oh, I'm sorry. For the latest one, 22 million. All right. What time is it? It is noon. 12 o'clock. Let's go to Twitter. All right. Let me see what's happening on Twitter here. Sarge, are you interested in playing Split Fiction this Wednesday? If not, we can play something else. But if you don't want to play that game, then I won't buy it. The hell is that movie? The Electric State got a 4. PCG's best city builder in 2024 is adding a map, gigantic hill in the middle of a perfect spot for your next cap. Whatever that is. Oh, damn. You guys remember this? Limited run games. I know Sarge remembers this game. I remember Sarge remembers this game. Fucking RC Pro-Am. This is RC Pro-Am 2. RC Pro-Am. Russo and the Infinity War crew did the Electric State movie. Well, it looks terrible. Is that another flop for the Russo brothers after Marvel? I know there are other movies that haven't done good. Is Mickey the other one that they've done? Could never finish it. The last car level, they were very hard. You couldn't even continue. You had to start all over again. Remember? Yeah. I'm thinking because there was no end. Because there was no end. Oh, did you guys see? There's a video on YouTube. I watched it yesterday. There's a guy who created a Daredevil game. It's a small little portion of it. But he took Daredevil's model from... took a picture and then put it into the Unreal Engine using like a Fortnite character of Daredevil. And then he brought him into a Manhattan scene, like a dark scene. And then brought some bad guys in and like had this little like... Little portion of a Daredevil game that he made in a weekend. Pretty interesting. Like I was like, damn. Imagine what people can do. That's the good thing about Unreal Engine, right? How people can actually, like, fan-made stuff can do it. Blizzard Entertainment GDC, March 17th. So next week. And next week. So starting Monday, GDC. So we're going to watch some of that stuff that we watched last year about like the tech test and stuff. We'll watch some videos of that next week. I like Chris Pratt's porn stash. That's a tongue twister, huh? Here, this is what Chris Pratt looks like. This is Chris Pratt, isn't it? Pretty sure it is, yeah. Yeah, Chris Pratt with a porn stash. It's GDC. GDC. Assassin's Creed bonus. Get one expansion. 10 hours of content. You guys see this? Who's going to pre-order it? Who's going to pre-order it? Wait, let me start it again. Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-order bonus. Get one expansion. 10 plus hours of content. Unlock new region, weapons, side activities, gear, and skills. It was 2 expansions. Get one bonus quest. One bonus quest! Oh my god, I'm in. It used to be 2 expansions, but they gave everyone one now because of their fuck up so bad. It's free because community feedback. Let's go. No. One is free. They're giving the one. The pre-order now is the other expansion that you were paying for at the beginning. Okay, so this is not shitting on Daredevil, right? The show Daredevil is not doing very good. Okay? But this is what happens when you damage a brand. Okay? So the Acolyte had 11.1 million views in 5 days. 3 million short of Ahsoka debut. Ahsoka had 14 million. Okay? The Acolyte, which is at 11.1 million views, which was the worst Disney Plus show at the point. Okay? Now, Daredevil Born Again launches with 75 million views on Disney Plus. Not very good. Not very good, considering, wasn't there 2 episodes? Right? This is exactly right, Water. It's crazy because it's actually good. Now, I haven't watched it myself, but I hear good things about it. But it doesn't matter, because look at what happened to Andor. Okay? Andor is being affected because of the other stuff they've done with Star Wars. Daredevil is being affected because of Agatha. Agatha was the last show, and then Echo was a show for Marvel, right? So you had Echo, you had Agatha, and you had something else. They all bombed. Right? This is the problem when you damage a brand. Roka says, yeah, I added Disney Plus just for Daredevil, and after the first 2 episodes, I canceled Disney Plus. Oh, you don't like it at all, Roadkill? Eclipse says, I'm not going to lie. I watched the first 2 episodes. I don't understand how people are giving it a 9 or a 10. I mean, it's all right, but it's not that good. There you go. They put Andor on Hulu. Ooh, that's not good. Even though Hulu's owned by Disney. D is 2 hours behind. 2 hours behind the stream. He went back in, he left, came back, and now he's still talking about Atomfall, the nuclear fire. Z, someone let Z know. He's going to watch this 2 hours later. He says, that had to be a duplicate message. I just popped in automatically. I got you. I was like, that's like 2 hours ago. I'm listening, mother. Battlefield devs react to mini game leaks. I'm not okay with leaks, so wait a minute. We have to read this. Let's read this, shall we? Let's read this. Battlefield devs reacts to games many leaks. I'm not okay with leaks. They're dealt with accordingly. Okay? Well, the first Battlefield Labs test took place recently in Battlefield 6, and while participating with the prohibited for sharing footage publicly, that's exactly what happened. Literally said this on Thursday during GXG. We're like, it's gonna leak out like 5 seconds, okay? Because people don't care about your NDAs. I do. I sign NDAs all the time, okay? And I don't talk about stuff, okay? But what did you expect? What did you expect when you're under scrutiny because you destroyed a franchise? What did you expect? Okay, I'm not saying it's okay, but at the same time, what did you think was going to happen? Hence why yesterday when I talked about it, I said just open it up, just open it up, just talk about it. You're them themselves, Battlefield, are talking about it out in the open. This is what we did. This is what's happened. This is the changes. Just show a video. Release the footage yourself. Okay. Says, I'm not okay with leaks. They're dealt with accordingly as well, Serlin said on social media when asked about his thoughts. A new Battlefield feature, the ability to drag and down teammate to safety, was amongst the many things that leaked. Oh, there you go. So you can drag. Where's Robert Jones? Robert Jones, they have the dragging in the thing. Okay. It says in early tests, Serland said that it was also be a key feature in a revive loop. Going to say expecting to see some interesting use in the next test. Okay. Serland also asked if EA might consider dropping the requirements for participants in the sign a non-disclosure agreement for future tests. He didn't confirm anything, but laid out the developer's position. He says, quote, we have loads of feedback from very active testers selected in good amounts and also get right areas for us to be able to use it. There's also a rational to approach of what's taking. That's also working well so far. If there will be more tests and will be opened up to more over time. Just release your tests on your own site. You can control it. You can say, you can knock everyone else down, show your footage, right? So here it is, right? You can drag. Look, Battlefield 6 news. I don't know if this is official, right? But I'm not gonna click on this because it's not official. Okay. But if Battlefield came out, if EA came out on their own channel and posted the gameplay and had their devs talk about it and say, this is early access, we're looking for feedback at this, get it on board. Get on board. This is 2025. You pushing back and saying that the people leaking this stuff, it's going to get out. Right? If you just canceled 542X9er, the next person that's going to come in will leak it afterwards. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? It says it's not too late to sign up for Battlefield Labs. It's possible to get into the future test, Battlefield 6 or whatever the game might be called. Has been rumored to release in fall 2025, but EA is only confirming it'll be out in March of 2026. It will be out by March 2026, CEO Andrew Wilson recently said, and the EA could shift the game, potentially avoid the clash with GTA 6. In addition to multiplayer, the next Battlefield game will have a single-player component developer by Motive, and also unannounced mode of Ripple Effect that is rumored to be the Portal mode. Okay, so there you go. Just come out. Come out and say it. Don't. You have to. You know when you're starting to skid. You don't turn away from the skid. You turn into the skid, right? You turn into the skid. That's what they need to do. Battlefield and EA need to turn into the skid. Instead of letting other people get the views and whatnot for their leaked footage, you put the footage up there yourself and say, hey, this is what we're doing. You put it up with what the stuff that you said yesterday or the other day. You post the whole list of things that you were doing. You show that in a video. Okay, put some effort into it. Okay, say it's an alpha. Say it's early access and stuff. We love the feedback. Put it in the comment section, and then people will shit on you in the comment section, and they will also give you feedback. You have people that you can actually pay for to scroll through and filter the stuff that's actually good feedback, and everybody else gets, see you later, okay? But turn into the skid. Don't turn away from the skid and start spitting out more out of control. Those are just my thoughts. Let's see. Z says, what do you expect as the devs when you don't pay for your own internal Q&A? Got to get the players, then F you. Right. But if they just turn into the skid, they'll fix this. Titan says, COD already has these features. Not making sense, 30, Sarge says. I actually played with the game, and I actually played the game. I had a really fun time with it. I really want to shout it out because I want it to succeed, but I'm not of an NDA. You already broke NDA. You told us that you were playing it. How dare you? Titan says, I'm predicting 2026 for the game. 1 year of play testing. Yeah, I think it's a mistake, personally, Titan. Because even if it's 1 year of play testing, look, no matter how we look at it, if it comes out this year, it's not going to be done when it comes out. If it comes out this time next year, it's not going to be done when it comes out. Regardless of when it comes out, it will not be finished when it comes out. D says, turning into the skid is scary. People do not like driving and floating sideways. Right, because they also don't know how to drive. But if they knew how to drive, they would know to turn into the skid. Hilly says, this isn't a turn into the skid situation. This is please stop filming my car wrecking. Right, because they're like, what do we do? I don't like leaks. It's like, hey, instead of watching those leaks, we provided you footage of the test. And if you would like to join the test, please sign up for Battlefield Labs, and we'll love to get your feedback. That's turning into the skid. Right? We'd love to get your feedback. Hey, you want to be part of our Discord? Hell, they can even do that. Don't even put it on YouTube. Put it behind the scenes on their Discord. Hey, you want to sign up for our Discord? You want to sign up for the thing? They put it out there. And then if that footage leaks because they put it out there, then it's their footage that they put out there, right? They own that footage. It's their game. Okay? So they should put on their Discord, hey, are you a member of our Discord? Well, you could check out the new game footage on our Discord. Sign up today. Right? Or just put it on your YouTube EA account. Hey, check out the new stuff. Tell us what you think. The good, the bad, whatever. Or, you could do what Tim Kaine always wants you to do.
Tim Kaine walks in with a question so bold. Do gamers know what they want? He's told. The crowd says yes, but then starts to fight. Tim shakes his head. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tell me what's good, not what's gone wrong. If you just complain, the list gets too long. You say, this sucks, but what do you mean? Fix the bugs or scrap the whole scene. Tell me what's good, give me a clue. If you only rant, then what can I do? Do gamers know what they want? No. Do devs know what gamers want? Also no. Tim grabs.
All right, there you go. Turn into the skid. Make a negative into a positive. You don't want leaks? Then get control of the car. Sarge says, how dare you, 30? Just because every major AAA game that has released in the last 5 years is released unfinished doesn't mean this one will. Or does it? What are you arguing? That it should be okay with leaks? No. What I'm arguing, Jones, is leaks are going to happen, regardless if they wanted to or not. And if they don't want leaks to happen, then get control of the fucking car and then release the footage yourself. It. Knock down the people that are doing the leaks and then put the stuff up there. Look, we already did this yesterday, right? Yesterday, they literally came out with their own thing. We read it. The whole thing. Where is it? Right here. On Twitter. Right? On Twitter. Yesterday. They come in and say our design philosophy of our gunplay. They literally describe everything they did in the playtest. This is what people are doing. Here's the feedback and validation of it. This is what we've done. Feel the different weapon archetype. Instead of putting it on paper and saying it's early access and this is the stuff we're working on, all they had to do was attach the video to this. Right? And then people wouldn't go out to try to find the leaks. They would just go find what they posted, which they posted here, and everything about what was in the playtest. Leaks are going to happen. If you think you're going to put your game out and everyone's going to follow in a line like ducks, right? I don't know if you've ever teached kids before. Hey, kids, everyone get in a single file line. Is everyone in a single file line? No, there's always one kid that's picking his nose and he's off to the side. You're like, Timmy, you got to get in the line. Right? There's always one that's never going to follow directions. Right? So if you think you're going to put it out to thousands and thousands of people and you think you're going to control the narrative, mistake number one. Okay? especially when it's Battlefield, something that's failed miserably the last time. So people want to see what the next one is. 2 times. It failed 2 times. Battlefield 5 failed. Battlefield 2042 failed. More than Battlefield 5. And now you're opening it up, right? You make the problem, okay? You make the problem, and now they don't have a solution. They're like, I'm upset that our thing got leaked. I don't like leaks. Then just show what you have, right? If you show what you have and say, hey, this is early access, we love your feedback, because they're getting feedback anyway. You get the feedback of the actual people that play the game, and then you're getting feedback to people that actually see it afterwards and go, oh, you're opening it up to the community, because they're opening it up to the community. They said they wanted the community's input. You'll get the input. If you like it or not, you're going to get input. Hell, it says right here. At this stage of content with Battlefield Labs in pre-alpha, and the play sessions take place with a closed dev environment focused on testing small chunks of a larger array of features, some gameplay features are placeholders, work in progress, and huge bugs and performance not being representative in final experience. However, even during this early stages of development, you get a good sense of our new design approach. Just show us. Show us. Tell us what you think. Right? They don't want to show leaks because they definitely are going to remove the drag feature. They're going to... Look, there's footage out there right now. Everyone's always going to compare it. Just like they compare Watch Dogs and Spider-Man for the graphics downgrade and for whatever else. That's out there. Welcome to the world of 2025. Okay? They're going to say and go, hey, look at the alpha footage. This was in the alpha footage. It's not in the final game. It's out there. Again, right? Turn into the skid instead of turning away from the skid and losing control because they can control the narrative. Hey, these are features that are happening. When someone else's footage is out there and they're on Reddit and all these other places going, no, this is early access, this stuff. Just show the stuff and control what it is. Very simple, right? You have a line like this where it says, feel the different weapon archetypes. You pay somebody with EA's $1 billion that they have in microtransactions from Madden and FIFA and everything else. You pay a person their minimum wage or whatever it is for an editor. This line, feel the different archetype of weapons. Make a video showing the different archetypes of the weapons in pre-alpha. Improve the aim control. Take that and show it in the video. Weapon balance and fun factor. Show some stuff from that. Look and feel of the movement. Show people running through with the movement. Move it and interact with the map. Show the map. Edit it. Put it out there. Ta-da! Look, I just saved them a whole bunch of time on their car insurance. Sarge says, bro, pre-alpha, but the game is coming out this year. Name a game that was in pre-alpha March and out before December. Well, they did say by 2026 it's coming out. So, but do the devs know what they want? I say no. Look, I'll tell you what I think. The person who's talking about they don't want... Who's this guy? This guy is the director? Serlin? Right? Is Serlin the director of... I think he's the director. I guarantee you that EA has different plans than what the company's doing. Right? The company's saying, I don't like leaks. But EA is saying, hey, let's do some guerrilla marketing. Let's get the buzz going on. Let's get 1,000 people to sign up. And someone said, the leaks are going to happen. They're like, yeah, let it happen. Let it naturally happen. Okay. And then they come out and say, well, I don't really like the leak. And meanwhile, Andrew Wilson's probably going, oh, this is good. This is great. We're getting the feedback of the people that we want to see. We get to hear from the people, see what they like, see what they don't like. There's no such thing as leaks. If they want to shut this down, they can shut it down. But they're not. So he might not like the leaks, but they're there. Titan says, Sarge, if EA doesn't have a big games later this year, they might force into the coming out this year. I'm not sure what the release slate is. These dev videos have given us way too many memes. We'll be quoting them for years to come. Yes, we will. No idea. Cares Timmy. Let that shit leak. Yeah, little Timmy, right? Here's the best part. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but who's to say they didn't leak it themselves with an account that they created? Right? It's on Reddit. You can pull it, but they haven't. It's still. Let me see. This is. Yeah, they black out the people's names because obviously they'll get in trouble. Yeah, you got the drags sequence. Yeah, why is this still on Twitter? Why isn't this pulled? Why does this article have it inside the article? Quoting the person that doesn't like the leaks, showing a leak within the article. Why isn't it pulled? Was that leaked or planned? Just saying. Makes you wonder. It makes it harder for leakers at a watermark. Yeah. And even if the leakers start showing their stuff, the public mindset would be like, oh, Battlefield is being transparent. They're showing footage from the playtest. We all feel like we're part of it because we can see it. But now it feels like I got to do something dirty, like I'm looking up porn, okay, to see a playtest of a thing that got leaked. They're like, oh, the leaks are out. Did you guys see the leaks? The leaks are out there. It's over on Reddit. Go over on Reddit. It's still up there. Like, so is that leaked? Or is that planned? I would assume that it's planned. It's guerrilla marketing 101. Okay? Now, again, I'm assuming. I'm not saying it's factual. Z says the posturing of the dev to say I don't like it is so stupid. Turn to the skid. Yeah. If I was him, I would have came out and said, yeah, this thing we knew it was going to happen. We just wanted to get the feedback. We want to make the best game possible. So take a look at the video and let me know what you guys think. Huh? Turn into the skid. Here, IGN. Everyone's on it, right? IGN has an article. Gameplay. Battlefield fans are digging the leaks, and EA hasn't taken them down yet. What? Get out of here.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
EA doesn't care, okay? And everyone thinks that these are actual leaks.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Okay? Battlefield fans are digging the leaks. Let's run that over. Right? Now, let me paint you a picture here. Let's get on board. How do we sell Battlefield, the next Battlefield? Well, what's down? Well, the fans are upset at Battlefield, right? They're upset at Battlefield. Okay? What do? Well, let's start early. Let's get the environment in and people playing the game. Okay? Let them feel like they're part of the situation, part of the process, okay? Then we'll sign them up, we'll get the buzz, we'll get pre-orders, right? Pre-orders of people interested in the game. They get a nice little soft base of who signs up. They see the servers crashing, they get signed in, right? It builds up this hype. Oh, a lot of people are interested in Battlefield. Yeah, we're going to make you the best Battlefield. We got 4 teams working on this Battlefield. We got a campaign. We got maybe a Battle Royale coming, right? We got a whole bunch of stuff working on. We have the big test coming out. It's only 2 hours. 2 hours. This Sunday. It's actually Friday, right? And then it leaks. And it leaks on Friday, and then the weekend happens, and everyone's watching it over the weekend. We can't block it on the weekends. We can't do it. Let's run the articles. Articles, Battlefield fans are digging the leaks on EA. Hasn't taken down yet. Why is that? Why hasn't EA taken it down yet, but yet have an article where the dev says, where the actual dev says, Battlefield dev reacts to game's many leaks, and I'm not okay with leaks. Get out of here. Stop it. Stop it. This is planned 100%. Leak something from Nintendo and see what happens to the leak. Leak something from Borderlands and see what happens from 2K. Let's see. Despite requiring players to sign an NDA to prevent details of EA's upcoming Battlefield game leak online, it leaked online anyway. No shit. Let me go find. I gotta go find my what we said on GXG. Right? I said it's gonna leak in about 3 seconds. Okay. Participating in games closed playtesting have been up to. As a report, when it leaked surfaced, the footage seems to confirm that modern setting previously teased by Vince Zampella discussing or distinguishing it from the other Battlefield games. A quick scroll through Battlefield subreddit gives us plenty of firefights as well as a taste of the game's destructible environments, handful of mechanics, including the ability to hang off vehicles and drag wounded teammates on harmful ways. Okay, so they have another. Here's another. They're posting the actual leak in a news article. How come IGN can post this and it's not getting taken down? Okay, most publishers are fiercely proactive and leaked early footage as pre-release gameplay can feature incomplete animations, unfinished UI, and less than stellar graphics. Well, by the way, that's all that is what 2042 was when it launched. So imagine that. Footage, okay, with incomplete animations, unfinished UI, and less than stellar graphics is the game that they just described what 2042 was when it launched. Okay, this time, however, despite the fact that players are breaking confidentiality agreements by uploading videos of screenshots, EA has yet issued takedowns. Turn into the skid. Perhaps that's because, unlike Battlefield 2042, lukewarm reception, fans seem pretty pleased with what they've seen so far. Quote, I'm scared to say that, but this game is shaping up very damn well. See? I hope there is no catches, said one player, with another adding, the animations of the weapons moving around while running, doing anything look better than 2042 to me. Another person says, dude, even in pre-alpha state, the explosions, bullets, and projectiles wheezing by, buildings crumbling down, dust kicking up. This has so much potential, exclaimed another happy player. Quote, I can't get over how good it sounds in destruction look in alpha. Opted by someone else. Okay. 5 minutes of gameplay. EA expects the next Battlefield game to launch in this fiscal year, 2026, which also means it would also release sometime between April 2025 and March of 2026. From our first official revealing just last month, we know that the new Battlefield will include the return of traditional single-player linear campaign, which has been welcome news. Players disappointed in some excluded of the multiplayer Battlefield 2042. Well, there you go. Right? If you think that this is not planned, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. 100% planned. And based on what's happening right now, about the feel of what the game is, and the next playtest and how it feels, will tell you if it releases later this year or if it doesn't. But regardless of when it comes out, it will not be complete. And when I say incomplete, I mean like if there's supposed to be 10 maps, they'll release it with 6 and then give you 4 after. If they tell you that this is going to happen, it's going to be broke buggy, day 1 patch, 1 week patch, 1 month patch is going to be a thing. Remember, developers said little jank is good, right? All games come out and they need a day 1 patch. All games come out broke and they need to get fixed over time. Developer said this. D says, if I want to get one over on the leakers, they say straight up, we started it because we... Right. Wait, we're leaking it ourselves. Titan says artificial hype. We got 4 dev studios to make the drag the teammate feature, Altern says. They need 5 dev studios to stop leaks, I guess. Right, 4 can't do it. We need 5. 5 studios. Like, you can literally hire someone for minimum wage, and all they do is surf all the forums to see if there's a Battlefield thing. And they go, hey, we have a thing. All right, pull it. Because this is advertisement. This is planned. All right. Well, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. That wasn't even going to be a story, but hey, why not? Why not? All right, chat. It's 1:45. About that time. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you're a person that will love watching my content, you just love coming by, but you don't hit that like button, if you watch the past broadcast, or you're watching this live, or you're watching a standalone video, make sure you guys interact with the video. If it's leaving a comment or leaving a like button, I don't promote my stuff. I do very little to keep saying hit that button. I don't. I'm not on that as much as I should be. We're 3 hours, basically 3 hours into the stream, or 2.5 hours into the stream, and I'm telling you to hit that like button. So I appreciate you very much. If you've been here for 1 second, 1 minute, or 1 hour, I do appreciate you. Again, hit one of the things, do all the things. We'll be back tonight with more Avowed gameplay, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on 30 and Still Gaming. You can also watch our past broadcast of our live show, The Daily Grind. You can go watch our uploads that we have, our shorts that we have, or the podcast that we do. And you can also watch my other channel, Nerding with 30. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time, with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning plan, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time, with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning fix. Your morning